Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. What is up, everybody? This is Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and we are here for the WrestleMania Backlash build-up.
I legit thought it was WrestleMania for a second there.
It's been hyped up like WrestleMania, but we assure you guys it is Backlash. I'm joined by Scott and Rob. We are waiting on Lucas. He's stranded somewhere in London. We haven't got a clue where he is.
Maybe he's getting his pirate costume.
Maybe, yeah. He's probably waiting for it to go on sale, so he's just waiting to get those bargains. Or he's already in the queue for his being able to eat in places tomorrow. So he's probably camped outside Wimpy or something. We know how much
he's not cycling back from another football stadium, is he?
He might not. Yeah, maybe. He might be. Yeah, I had a Wimpy the other day. It was really good.
Did you get it? You got it delivered, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan, look, I finally got my cup. Well, not finally got it. You got me a while ago.
Really? We got the mugs have mugs.
The Mug Brothers.
I'm hurting from that intro, by the way.
Why?
Just seeing the iconics for the titles and knowing that they're not there anymore. No. It's just
no. At least the title's being used well.
I know. I'm very happy about that.
Now, my big thing, if you're gonna, I'm not sure if it was actually in the group. I think it was in the in our group. I messaged this. It was like they did that on SmackDown. They're doing next week. They're doing a Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title. Why not do one of them on this show instead of the Lumberjack match? Just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Hey, God says, yeah, it was the same WrestleMania, though, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently
that's why. Same problems.
Yeah, they were saying as well. Apparently, the only reason that they put the titles on Natty and Tamina was because of the reaction Tamina got on Mania.
Yeah, I think they must have been shocked by that
because of like how over she was with the crowd.
Because people recognise hard work, you know.
And also, there's nobody meaner, so
that's true. That is the biggest factor.
Yeah, interesting though to see where Jax and Baszler go now. Like, are they going to go back into singles or?
Yeah, well, they split. Yeah, I don't know. What would you like to see between them?
I mean, in the nicest way, I'm really not fussed. Like, Shayna had a chance to, to be really pushed well a couple of years back. She should have beat Becky for the championship. And I'm a big Becky man, Becky Lynch, like Mark.
Big Becky man.
Yeah, I'm the man's man.
But then the thing with that as well is Becky would have known that she was pregnant at that time as well. So she must have told, because I don't think she wrestled
she wouldn't
then up until Money in the Bank.
She wouldn't have wrestled pregnant, knowing. No,
to be fair, knowing her, she probably would have.
No, I don't think so.
I think it was probably like early stages though, wasn't it? So
it must have.
Yeah. I mean, if they were going to move the title onto her, then off of her.
Hey, what she decides, Dan.
No, I mean,
you not pay attention in Six Ed.
No, mate.
Too busy watching wrestling.
But yeah, no, I'd like to see Shayna be used properly, but yeah, we've mentioned it a million times, haven't we? That is probably not gonna happen there, is it?
I don't know. I mean, it could now because she hasn't got the title, but I just think it's one of those. Because she's had the title, now she's lost it, so it could be now something, instead of her going after another like the women's tag again, it could be her going after the singles title because she hasn't held it, over that, or push her at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Money in the Bank does bring up a lot of questions, really, doesn't it? Like a lot of opportunities. So, yeah.
So, I think it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. Actually, like what they actually do with them. Because I think Shayna, they definitely need to do something with Shayna. Whether it be like throw her into one of the title pictures, because to be fair, I mean they've been on so many brands together. I don't even know which brand either of them are actually meant to be on.
Doesn't matter, does it? They'll do another draft. So when is the draft meant to be?
October.
I thought it was always after Mania, but
it should be. That makes sense, but I don't think it is. I mean, let me have a look. Nia Jax. So Nia Jax is on Raw. I'm guessing Shayna would be on Raw as well.
Probably.
But Shayna is... Oh, there we go. Shayna is apparently a SmackDown superstar. So
what do you reckon? It's now they've lost the titles. They'll just go back to their own brands and...
Possibly. I mean, the thing is, you've got obviously... so does that technically mean then that they have to now split up as a team if they're on different brands? Because then...
What it technically means is they'll do whatever they feel like doing. That bloody writers room, won't it? They'll make anything up. We try and look at it and say, oh, should it mean this and should it mean that? But it never does it? They just plot holes, whatever. Doesn't matter. What's a plot hole? Yeah,
exactly. It's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah. But what about tonight's show? You guys looking forward to it or what? What you feeling?
There's a few bits and pieces I'm looking forward to on it, but I just feel as though some of it, I mean, on the whole, like the matches are okay. It's like they're triple threat matches, like the Raw side of it. It just seems like they didn't really know what to do. I mean, there's like 6 matches booked, or 6 matches booked. That's it. And the Raw side of things, you've got 2 triple threat matches and a lumberjack match, and then the SmackDown side is obviously seems like the bigger, like although they're all every match except for the lumberjack match is a title match, but it's like Night of Champions. But it seems like the SmackDown side of it is certainly a lot stronger.
Just like the shows themselves, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing is, it's like the SmackDown side of it. None of the SmackDown matches would have actually looked out of place on WrestleMania. But the Raw side of it, I mean, yeah, you've got I
don't know, that triple threat. Both triple threats, I think, could have been matches.
Yeah, the triple threats as well. But then I guess, obviously, the SmackDown side of it, I think, a bit more like if you're looking at marquee matches, I'm guessing like because obviously Backlash is a lot of the time rematches, isn't it, from WrestleMania or because you've got obviously the WWE title match, but with Braun thrown in, the women's title match. I'm guessing that probably would have been the direction they would have gone in at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it felt like it was probably going to be that.
Yeah, like had the Charlotte thing not happened, and that the tag title thing. The SmackDown tag titles, we're a bit surprised, really. I mean, we spoke about it ourselves, that we were surprised that there wasn't something at least on the show about that. Because they had the Fatal 4-Way match on WrestleMania Smackdown. I'm surprised they didn't do a Raw WrestleMania as well.
Yeah, or WrestleMania Backlash Smackdown.
Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash. So it's the road to WrestleMania. So what are we going to have now? The road to WrestleMania at Extreme Rules.
How annoying is it going to be tonight when the Money in the Bank graphic pops up and it does call it WrestleMania Money in the Bank?
WrestleMania in the Bank.
Like we're all thinking, there's no way. And then they do.
No, not.
When's it supposed to be? It should be next, right? Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's normally. Let me see if there is a thing. Money in the Bank 2021 is meant to be June the 20th, apparently.
Okay.
And it's already got an attendance of 0.
Doing well.
Hopefully not for much longer though. Like if reports are to be believed, by SummerSlam time there'll looking at fans back, and then that is hopefully, I think, what they're penciling in as the start of essentially the touring schedule again, and getting out there into live arenas. Like how full they are, though, I guess all depends on the state of things out in America. But come over here, guys. We've got it a little bit more, got things a bit more sorted.
Yeah.
Obviously, like over here, we had the FA Cup final recently. Just had 22,000 fans there.
It still looks surreal, though, didn't it? Didn't it? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I heard though during the show they were saying that they were trialing it as an outdoor event, but with minimal social distancing. Because I think you look at the way them fans were, none of them were socially distanced. It's like that. I think that's what they were saying. When they're
celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. Like when they're running down to the front of the stands and that. So
yeah, that was good to see. Yeah. So how many matches were added then today? One.
That's it. Yeah.
Since the predictions. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm looking forward to the show, but just more that it's been a while. It feels ages ago since we watched WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
But we were so bloody worn out as well. It was so much, and then it's like Fastlane, and then 2 WrestleManias basically, and then it's taken ages to have the next show. It just feels really weird.
Yeah, I mean, you think this time last year, Otis was already Mr. Money in the Bank.
Oh, don't remind Scott.
That's weird.
The whole thing was weird.
You're still having nightmares about that, seeing Otis with a briefcase. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be interesting this year as well. Like, I mean, you look at like early shouts for Money in the Bank. That's going to be quite interesting. I mean, depends on what way they go with it, and who's on what brand, and are they going to do it kind of cinematic again, how they did it last year with both matches starting at the same time, or are they going to traditional?
What would you prefer? I think I prefer they just went back to the normal thing now.
Yeah,
like I liked it at the time because everything was exciting, but I don't think the execution was as good as it could have been. So I'm fine with them not doing that again. But I'd like that to be a match on its own.
Yeah,
but I mean, not filmed that way. Not filmed with crap music over the top.
Yeah, it did take a bit away from it, really, didn't it? And it's like so much like fake. You could see like all the fake stuff where it was just like so much like, oh, we're going into catering. Oh, look, there's John Laurinaitis. Oh, here's this pass. It's like just have a bloody match. If you go into a room, just have like how they used to do the hardcore title matches. Like,
yeah.
Back
you could have still done the cameos and that, but I know what I mean. They felt a bit forced, didn't they? It was just the stuff on the roof that annoyed me, really. That they didn't spend that much time up there, and then they pretended to kill people.
And the fact that Baron Corbin is still walking around a free man despite murdering two superstars.
But they did come back to life, so Yeah.
I think what I would actually like to see them do this year is actually have an idea of what they're going to do with both the briefcases before they actually go into the pay-per-view, so that they've got a bit of a plan. So
last year definitely felt rushed, didn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, as I said, we don't obviously know when when Becky told them about her pregnancy. So did they know about that before the match, before the Money in the? So did they know all along that whoever wins that match? Because you got to think, would Asuka have won that match had the Becky pregnancy thing not come out? So
because when we were obviously as we watched the show, we're all thinking she's won it because she's now number one contender and it's a future thing, isn't it? But you're right, it could have been planned for someone else.
Yeah,
and Otis was surely thrown together because it was like he's popular right now, right? So yeah.
And even then, he still didn't like cash in and stuff, which it wasn't even him in the end. It was the Miz, wasn't it, who successfully cashed in.
He still got something good out of it in the end, With the whole Lashley thing came of it, didn't it? So
yeah, and it's obviously Lashley still champion now as well. So that's going.
My biggest issue is I'm just sick of them using gimmicked matches for pay-per-views. Like, we don't need Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, TLC, Elimination Chamber. Like, just get rid of them, bring back the old ones, and use them matches when it's necessary. Because I just think it just kills the buzz of the matches. Yeah. Like, I preferred Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. It was a perfect way to get like 6 to 8 men on the card, let them do their thing, and they all get a pay out of it.
I think Money in the Bank, it's the same with all of them though. Some years they're hits, like Money. Obviously, the one with Punk that year was amazing. The whole card, and then there was a few around that period as well that were really good. But yeah, generally speaking, they do kind of get burnt out. I feel like they get to it and it's like, well, we've got to do this. The Rumble was different because the Rumble was like a staple. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, I'm glad they got rid of things like Fatal 4-Way. But like those kind of pay-per-views that they really tried to push it with the stipulation pay-per-views then.
But I think now they'd be better with like I think at the moment it looks like they might be doing something like definitely a King of the Ring tournament, but bring that pay-per-view back. The King of the Ring pay-per-view would have been brilliant. Then they're probably going to end up doing fully loaded with crap matches.
Armageddon, Vengeance,
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Look, and if you're going to do pay-per-views, we'll quite happily take Rebellion and Insurrection again over here. So
we should do a special Rebellious Noise Rebellion. That'd be confusing. A bit of a tongue twister.
So,
all right, should we bring in Lucas?
Nah, leave him to sweat for a bit longer.
There he is.
How's it going?
Let's move us back to our regular slots, though. Come on. Oh.
Yes. I mean, I've got a beef with Lucas, but I'll keep it off air. I'll message
really?
him.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey Lucas, okay. welcome to the Backlash review. How did you find the show?
Not that late. Come on. Yeah, look. It's weird. Usually when we've done these things, we've got a load to talk about, like new matches or whatever to predict still. But there's only one more match, isn't there, to predict? Yeah. It's a bit weird.
There it is.
Like a forgotten pay-per-view.
It is, yeah. I was saying before you came, mate, like that it was Fastlane was there, and then we had 2 quick, WrestleMania twice sort of thing, and then now like it's been ages, and it just feels really weird. Like I'm more looking forward to the fact that it's been a while since I stayed up, ate food, drank a beer, and watched wrestling. Like that's the only thing. Like I'm not really that focused on the card. I don't think. I'm not expecting anything great. Yeah, I'm not expecting anything great.
I mean,
you're more bothered about the food.
Yeah.
No, that's what he was on about when he said he ain't expecting anything great.
Hey, come on, I'm cooking it. It will be great.
The thing is, though, like you say, it's been a long while since the pay-per-view. Yes, it has, but like we're literally in a time loop because it's the same card. Like, I think I read a report the other day that since WrestleMania, 7 matches have happened again as rematches on television. And the only ones that haven't happened are ones that obviously feature celebrities or part-timers. Obviously, they can't really do the Bad Bunny tag match, but we are getting Priest and Miz still. So let's continue the same feud. And they can't actually redo Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns. Because obviously 2 of those people are, well, one's obviously no longer part of the company.
That was a surprise,
He's obviously part-time. So it's... I think that
has Edge not been around?
No, it's not. We've not seen him since Mania.
No.
And even Sasha Banks, like we've only seen her like since the week after WrestleMania. She walked out of an interview and she's not been seen on TV since either. So, I mean, should we get into? We got one more match to predict. Should we? Just
we do have Ronnie Storm as well. So Ronnie's back.
Working?
Yeah, I've tested him.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a backup of a dice.
Yeah, we'll have the backup. We're going for the same colours as before. Rob would have been blue. I was green because I had the bandana. I think Lucas was yellow and Dan was red. Does that make sense? Yeah. Dan, you're in red again. So that makes sense. Right, Dan, you're first on here. Ready? Oh, gosh, I'm going to jump again, aren't I?
Ready.
Bang! What you got to do there, man? I probably pushed that one in there like I really wanted it to be Rob. Oh, red again. Oh, Okay, green again.
Remember how anticlimactic this was on the first time?
Yeah, but every other time it's gone well, so. Alright, blue again. Rob. Back to Lucas, a spinning round. Go on, Ron. Oh. Alright. Done. Oh. Me. This doesn't feel like it's going to go, does it?
Riveting YouTube stuff. Riveting.
Oh.
For anyone that's actually listening to this and not watching it, we're actually playing a game of Pop-Up Pirate on air.
No. He's playing a game of Pop-Up Pirate. We're watching.
We're running out. All right, who was it? Oh, it's me now. Rob's lost one. I've lost one. That must be Rob's other one. Oh, this ain't right. It wasn't set. Oh, again. That's it. It didn't work.
Yeah, it works, mate. It did.
Do you want me to do the dice?
Hold on. Oh, I don't think it was pushed down properly.
Oh.
I thought it was.
So, while you're reloading, so what we're doing, we're actually deciding who is going to actually pick first for the Damian Priest and the Miz Lumberjack match. So this is the only match. Obviously, this match has been added only since Raw this week, so we've not actually had the chance to predict it yet. So that is what we are deciding who is going to be going first for this match.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
No,
I was told this was set up. It was on authority that it was good authority that it was set up, but clearly Ronnie's paralytic and he don't want to work.
It's your beer, mate.
I know. I might throw him in it. Just let him drown.
Well, usually parts they like to be drunk, don't they? So.
One of you. Anyway, go on. Yeah, do the dice. Is it your fault?
So we have number one. So that's me.
I'm still going with this, by the way, but yeah.
As we've previously said, so it is predicting Damian Priest versus The Miz in a lumberjack match. I am going to be nice and simple and quick with Damian Priest to win this match.
Oh, all right. No reason.
Yeah, because I think Damian Priest is going to win. I just don't feel like The Miz is going to... I don't see The Miz winning it for some reason. Yeah, I can't really...
That's the insight they come in for.
Yeah.
Great analysis. Okay. Well, I've got a lot to live up to now. So... Damian Priest and The Miz. I don't know. Who won the last one? Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 in a row. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think The Miz is going to win. I think he's still got John Morrison at his side, and Damian Priest don't have Bad Bunny, so I feel that might kind of work against him. And, because Miz has got to be rewarded, I feel, for taking the loss at WrestleMania. So... yeah, 2 in a row just feels a bit weird.
They probably rewarded him previously by giving him the title, and then they were like,
"Well, but that's a reward before you get the punishment." Well, not punishment. He was, he was involved with stuff. And did anyone watch the 24, by the way, of The Miz?
Yeah, excellent,
amazing, weren't it?
Not yet.
So good. You ain't seen it, Rob?
No, not yet.
Definitely,
it's so good. It'll make you want to watch the WrestleMania 27 promo package as well, which was amazing.
I've been in the gym, man. I've been too busy in the gym.
Oh, come on, mate. Yeah. Before we came on air, Lucas, he was talking about his 2-inch pythons.
Oh, gain 2 inches. That's keep that PG.
Whose go is it? Lucas to go? You'll go?
Yep.
Wait, it's me then Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, Lucas.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think The Miz will win this one. It's kind of a hard one to know because with lumberjack matches, obviously it leads to loads of people could get involved, obviously, because there'll be lumberjacks outside the ring.
I forgot about lumberjacks.
Someone like
crap. I literally did the whole prediction based on John Morrison. No one stopped me when there's more than just John Morrison. You guys are idiots, man. You let me down.
I need them points, boy.
You guys are.
Well, you said lumberjack match before you introduced.
The clue.
I was busy. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, but usually, anyway, Scott. Usually, good lumberjack matches though, is that the lumberjacks will only ever do stuff usually on the outside, and then they do their brawl, but only with the lumberjacks. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but
obviously, if the Miz wants to be sneaky and try to use Morrison in this match, like Morrison could be the only person to actually do something to Damian Priest, like in the ring, that's visible. Particularly with the Thunderdome setup, it allows for obviously the fact that this can happen, quite well without obviously having the crowd point and see things.
Yeah.
But also it's just the fact that Miz has just got that that finish which can come out of nowhere, and it's quite an easy setup of. I could envision Damian Priest getting distracted or getting taking a move off Morrison and just stumbling straight into the Skull Crushing finale 1, 2, 3. But it's a hard one though because WWE they can't really win with this one because obviously if Miz wins, then fair enough, Miz has won. But it is still Miz is in the same position now as guys like John Cena were a few years ago. Miz is just burying younger talent now. Because Damian Priest only just comes to the brand, and obviously Damian Priest wins. But it's a case of Miz was Miz was WWE champion 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago. And now he's not able to beat Damian Priest, who just came off NXT. And it just doesn't seem that Miz is ever going to get his singles kind of moment. And Damian Priest, don't get me wrong, this is where we're at. End of the day, Miz has had a whole career of moments, hasn't he? To do this. Yeah. And Priest could have maybe a career going forward, to do it. But yeah, I'd rather the Miz wins though. I'd rather the Miz wins though.
By the way, would you change yours, Scott, if it was now known as a lumberjack match?
Yeah, probably. No, but the only thing I can think is that all the lumberjacks are attacking Miz because that's what they do. Is usually they go after the heels because the heels are being the ones that are trying to escape and whatever. So the lumberjacks are beating them up, trying to throw them back in. As they do that, Morrison sneaks in from behind and attacks Priest. Miz does get thrown back in. Miz gets the 1, 2, 3, which I think is the way they should book it. Actually, now that I think about it, that would be really good. So, go on then, Rob.
Right. So I think the complete opposite. I think Priest is winning. But I think the way they're going to do it is maybe it'll be a case of throwing Miz out, being hit by the lumberjacks and stuff. Morrison, I don't actually think Morrison will be out there. I think he'll then come and join maybe the lumberjacks later when Miz is struggling. And then, obviously, because he can't be banned at ringside due to the match stipulation. And I reckon the lumberjacks will turn on Morrison and escort him out. And then it'll be Martin.
Carrying him or something.
I need to call him Punishment Martinez then. Then it'll be Priest. It'll be Priest versus Miz. Sorry. It'll be Priest and Miz left, and then Priest will get the 3 count win.
And what's interesting with that prediction, you and me are literally pick for pick exactly the same on this.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Well.
Really?
Seriously, yeah.
You guys love drawing with each other,
literally only look. Yeah, literally just going back through it. So yeah, we went for Damian Priest, Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley, Mysterio's, Rhea Ripley, and Roman Reigns.
Great minds think alike, mate.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so, could you send us this in our little group chat because I like to watch it, keeping an eye on the score. So send us.
Don't send it to him. Don't send it.
Shut up, man.
Let him be on tenterhooks.
I've lost one of these swords. If it's your one, mate, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Should I send him last year's one?
Yeah.
Last year.
There was no backlash last year, you dweeb.
There was.
Was there?
Oh,
yeah, it was. Oh, there was no WrestleMania Backlash this one.
So.
It was the greatest wrestling match ever, wasn't it? Yeah.
Did you guys want to actually now see what we're actually playing for this year?
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Ronnie Storm!
Out of nowhere.
As soon as you said, do you want to see it? He flipping lost. Yeah, he wants to see it.
He got excited.
Ronnie, you and I don't know who it was now. I'll have to watch that back on the replay. But Oh my goodness! Right. Anyway, before we see this year's one, I just want to show you last year's one. All right. Cool. Anyway. What's joining this, Dan? By the way, show me.
Nothing.
Oh come on!
So
Let me visualize.
We've all got a nice little setup. Obviously, are we ready?
Sorry, look, my heart rate is 100. Right there.
Oh.
That literally, you could barely see. Yeah.
Are you all right, mate?
Oh.
Just need a
I
minute.
say, we're live as well, guys. 9:30. Whew, yeah.
Right. Are we good for this one? Ready?
Yep.
Give me a drum roll.
I should do that with my heart going already.
Whoa!
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you can put popcorn in it. I can't wait.
No popcorn in it. But yeah, that's
lovely.
Yeah, you can put
The Red Noise popcorn
chips.
trophy.
You can put chips in it. That looks like how the Europeans have their chips with all the mayo
in a cone.
I like that, mate.
So yeah, that's the.
That's very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Whoever
gets it.
A little thing for everyone. We did actually look to get the same one, but they're now only doing their runs of 10. So it's like,
yeah, we don't need 10 of them.
we don't need 10 of them. So
we don't get participation awards on this channel.
Thanks for showing up. There you go. See you later. And a quick look at the table is zeros all round. So there we go. Nice and quick for you.
Except for Ronnie, who flipping is at the top, clearly.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping this event will have a few more matches, maybe, because it seems obviously what 6 is the max points we can all get. You know, it's not really.
I mean,
yeah,
from
start off big, isn't it?
So last year,
bonuses either.
No, so last year Backlash, me, Scott, Rob all had 4 points, and Lucas had 3. So, and that was exactly the same scores as we got for Money in the Bank, which was this time last year. So,
it could be the other way around.
I think. Like you were saying though, like as far as the card goes, it's not terrible. It's just not that thrilling, is it? Like,
no, I mean,
it could be a good show, but I don't expect much.
Yeah, I mean, if we quickly just run through what there is, like, so obviously we've got the Lumberjack match, which is Damian Priest and The Miz.
It's a what match?
Lumberjack match. Then we've got the Universal title match, which is Roman Reigns versus Cesaro.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Then we have also from SmackDown the Tag Team Championships, which is Rudolph versus the Mysterios.
Ray looks a bit uncomfortable there.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, you can't see Dom's hands, so you don't know why.
He's saying he got his hand up his arse.
His own dad. That's a bit weird.
And then you've got Bianca Belair defending the SmackDown Women's title against Bayley. Bayley looks like she's got a bit of a dodgy eye there.
I think she's just
it's a constipated look.
Yeah, maybe. Then we go over to Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Charlotte. Sticking with the triple threat theme as well. The final match of that is Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, I mean, as we said, every match is a title match except for the Lumberjack match. So
I guess we should be really excited then, really, shouldn't we? But I don't know, it's just something about it. It's like when you said in our group chat a little while ago, backsplash. That actually made me laugh. That I hope it isn't.
It's just we're in a time loop. It's the problem. We're in a time loop where like nothing is moved forward from WrestleMania. Dan and I, we spoke about this thing when we met up legally.
As you can now. Did you ever think the day would come where you'd have to clarify that?
I know it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, we met up outside and that's not really weird, isn't
it? we shouted at each other from 2 meters away. Like, all right, mate.
But we were speaking about how it's just things aren't just moving, and like the reason why the draft worked after Mania is because it forced them to have to be different, to have to make changes to stuff, and obviously the fact that they've now got to have the draft when the US TV season starts in September because of Fox, I guess.
Okay. Right.
Well, yeah, that's what they're doing in September. They do it on the premiere episodes of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it's something the network's like. But obviously, there's no premiere because it didn't end, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
it's the longest running weekly episodic one, but they also have premieres. All right, mate.
That's another discussion. But I think the draft being there after Mania was good for that reason, because it just felt. I mean, because obviously, again, we all love Drew here, but it's the fact that he's now been, apart from I think when Lashley was face to face the Miz, Drew has been a part of every single WWE Championship match since April last year. So for almost 14 months, he's been, and it goes back to what we were saying about the women's stuff as well. Like, they just refuse to let anyone not do anything unless for a title. And it's just, this is where they're going to have to try and see what they can do, because at the end of the day, Drew is talented, people like him, but I think they already messed up his run with the championship by having the 2 runs, and then the cash in, to get it to Lashley, and then if they're going to keep having to have him in the championship picture, that's how your star gets fatigued. That's what happened with Roman Reigns. He made a bit of 4 WrestleManias. People didn't mind the first one, and then but when you're 4 in, you're like, oh, okay, this is how it is now. And same with someone like Drew. Like, he can't, it's annoying they blew off the Sheamus thing, obviously, so quickly. They decided, that was just pre-WrestleMania stuff we're going to do because Peacock exists and stuff. But they need to do something to shake it up, and it's just nothing is shaken up. Every feud is continuing, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's well nodding because
yeah.
How it is. I think we all as a fan base feel it. I think it's just it's essentially we're getting WrestleMania Night 3 tonight. Like, this would have been if WrestleMania didn't end.
Night 4, it was WrestleMania Smackdown.
Oh God, not that rubbish again. But nothing really feels fresh, does it? They're playing it safe as houses. Like, I mean, and they seem to have been a habit now of announcing stuff for. I don't get when they announce stuff for next week's episode of a TV show when they got pay-per-view. Like, I swear I saw a 4-way IC title match, but that is happening on SmackDown.
Yeah, so that's happening on SmackDown. It's like we were mentioning it. So I mentioned it in the group chat as well earlier that they've got obviously the Fatal 4-way next week. So it's Apollo versus Big E, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. That could easily have gone on this card instead of, in my opinion, that could have gone on instead of the Lumberjack match. The Lumberjack match you could have just done on Raw. But then obviously that would have been another SmackDown match. So then it would have been 4 SmackDown matches, 3 Raw matches.
I think I prefer that though.
But then, and even like the women's tag title match as well. The that could have happened on this show as well. But it's basically like they seem. I think it might be a case of they've had a bit of like crap from people to say that they're not doing much on the TV shows, or the ratings are down. So they're like, okay, we'll start giving some big stuff away on TV. Like instead of pay-per-view kind of thing. Because, I mean, do people still actually pay for the pay-per-views out in America or here and that? I mean,
maybe some, but
they're available. I mean, let us know in the comments if you actually pay BT Sports. For $15.99 to watch.
You'd be mad. But unless it's internet, I think some people are still like that because of internet access.
Maybe, yeah.
In which case, they're probably not watching us.
Yeah. True. Do you live in the 1990s? Get in the comments.
As you said that, it froze. Did anyone else get that? It was like
you can't make it up.
Like, the internet was paying you back. You think that's funny?
You're on dial-up.
It's like Nokia 3310 users. If you can hear us, text 999. 3
Careful there. You put
777. That spells out yes in a.
Yeah, I think end of the day. I mean, look, end of the day, it's like such a 90s thing to get a pay-per-view. I think, just like calling up a restaurant to get food delivery now, like you wouldn't dream of doing it. You use the apps that are available. Don't want to name them. We're not sponsored.
Yeah, I nearly did it the other day. Someone said to me the other day about a certain takeaway, and I was like, "But you have to call them." I'm all right.
Wow.
I mean, you get it sometimes, like when you're taken back, like especially in smaller towns. I mean, doing stuff for like LDN and stuff. Like when you're in smaller towns, and like there are like those shops where they only accept cash. Like you know, and you're just like, oh, okay. Usually I'm so used to paying by card, whatever.
Yeah, me and Dan were talking about it earlier. It's usually that's about the tax man. Usually,
yeah.
Especially with pubs.
A Chinese restaurant that Dan and I both frequent. They are definitely onto something, I think.
Cash only, yeah.
So you're making enough money.
We've got a comment here. So I'm Jose. I think Braun Strowman, Ripley, and Cesaro will win, guys. I think Cesaro is the least likely out of all of them. Although I'd absolutely love it, I just don't see anyone beating Reigns, and I don't see it being Cesaro. Not at this moment in time, you know. But Ripley, I think retaining makes sense.
Yeah.
Braun's a possibility. We kind of brushed over him in the predictions show we did, but yeah. But
none of us said him because it was split. Like I think Scott, you said Drew. The other three of us said Bobby.
Right.
None of us said Strowman. Yeah. Nobody said. No one actually said Strowman, but yet Strowman's been the one that's been pushed like the most. It seems on Raw. I mean, just on the subject of like Cesaro, obviously none of us think Cesaro is going to win, and like. Who do we actually think is going to be the one that's going to end Roman's title reign?
That's a good point.
That's probably like the $64 million question or whatever it is.
I just don't see anyone able to do it at the moment. I mean, the only thing I can think is big, like future, like he's going to face The Rock, you know, like ages away, which is too long. And I think the most likely
Jey Uso, mate.
Well, I wouldn't mind that as like a little quick story, but I think it'd work really well, and obviously he's shown that he can work as a singles guy anyway. But I don't know, man. I mean, that would really add the fuel to the fire of the family dynamic, yeah. But as far as like who needs the rub because you finally conquered the big bad Roman Reigns, you know, the only person that springs to mind of a big star is Seth, but obviously he's a heel, so it doesn't really.
Or they could unless they transition him.
That's a long, but even that's a bit of a journey, you know, to get to that point. So,
and I am Jose again in the comments saying, Bianca Belair will still win her belt. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much in agreement with that one. Bianca's still going to be champion after it, after the show. So, yeah, I think it's a bit early for her to lose the title at the moment. I think they're heading in the direction of Bianca, Bayley, and Sasha. Possibly Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think Ripley's the more likely one to lose out of the two of them. But I still think she'll be retaining as well.
Yeah, I think even that one as well, like the whole... I mean, what did we go... Let me just quickly see who we went for in that one. So with the Raw Women's title, Lucas went Charlotte, the rest of us all went Ripley. So, you know, again, like that was like split. All of us went for Bianca, so... tag title one was all of us went Mysterios except for Lucas. I mean, when we look at it, I think mostly, like for me, the only title I think is changing is the tag title. Rob obviously said the same. Scott, you reckon WWE title and tag titles changing, and Lucas, you reckon the
Raw Women.
Just the Raw Women's is changing. So
yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I've been seeing quite a lot of stuff about Strowman this week, actually. You know, comment sections, that kind of stuff, and you know, it just depends what Vince. The thing is, with obviously everything we're led to believe through the various dirt sheets about obviously Vince changing stuff so last minute, and the fact that. You know, we are just in this kind of creative lull period for the company at the moment. Like Strowman winning, like is something which Vince could just pull the trigger on, you know, as a way to shake it up. And with the reports, obviously, apparently Aleister Black debuting tomorrow night on Raw, or at least moving over to the Raw brand. Like, you know, it is one of those things where Vince could have just thought, let's just do Braun versus Aleister Black as a feud going forward, you know. And it's one of those where. It's just hard. It's so hard to know, like what. Because the thing is, you spoke big about Reigns just then, but you know, if Lashley retains, which obviously most of us here think he's going to retain, like what next for him after that? Because does he face Braun individually? like, singly, because obviously without now that Drew's obviously out of the question, does he have to go on to face Braun? AJ's with the tag belts now. Orton's in a tag team too. Okay, bro. And the main event scene isn't really much deeper than that on Raw.
When's SummerSlam? That's
August.
August, isn't it?
Date yet, but it's August.
Yeah, so 3 months. So I mean,
so we've probably got Money in the Bank, then probably Extreme Rules, possibly.
Yeah,
and then
SummerSlam. I mean, unless they do a feud with Strowman, like Bobby and Strowman for just 2 months. Something, not that it'll be like great, maybe. Just to long it out, or even if they do it as a thing of Strowman attacks him, that takes Bobby out for a month. Then they have their next match, and then at SummerSlam, either do something like that, or just have Brock come out at the end of the match, destroy them both, and then build up for SummerSlam. I mean, if they're gonna have fans back by then that's kind of a good way to bring him back at least.
Big bad Brock.
But then isn't Brock being discussed for Reigns as well next year at Mania? So it's everything.
From what Heyman's saying, it sounds like he's even contemplating just saying like, you know what, I don't need to do this anymore.
He probably doesn't.
Heyman always says that sort of stuff, though, doesn't he? So
I'm sure if there's enough zeros on the check, he'll be back. So
I think it'd be interesting to see Brock come back and be a face. He
was a face against Taker at once, wasn't he? When Taker turned heel and done a low blow, Brock become a face, I guess, in that moment. And it was really weird, especially and it was also kind of a bit of a tweener when he first won a Money in the Bank, when he was dancing with the briefcase.
I was watching clips the other day. I forgot how good that was.
I'd like him as a face again, especially it doesn't have to do the comedy stuff when he done with Angle and Eddie and all that sort of stuff, but more of a face Brock Lesnar would be good.
Depends what the thing that would lead. I'd argue that would lead more down the Reigns route, then, wouldn't it? Like obviously, if you're Brock, you want to go after the biggest villain in the business, and it is.
Yeah, and there is the story there of Paul Heyman and whatever else, So,
but then it means he's going to have to go and work on SmackDown, and are they going to have arguably one of their biggest stars that they've got? And then obviously you're thinking, I'm sure Vince probably still sees SmackDown as a second brand, but
it's the A show, in my opinion.
No one else does.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, in his eyes, Raw's always going to be the top show, and it seems as though whenever Brock has seemingly come back, it's normally been on Raw. I mean, the only time he come back, like when he's actually returned on SmackDown, was the night after the first one on Fox when he beat Kofi for the WWE title. We've also we've got a couple more comments in here. We've got forgot Ray and Dominic was fighting against Bobby and Dolph. Who knows who will win that? Yeah, I mean we were split on that as well. Like so me, Scott, and Rob all think that the Mysterios are going to win, and then Lucas thinks that Dolph and Ziggler are going to retain. It leads into his next comment, and my point on this one was, do you all know what will happen to Jay and Jimmy when Roman loses? So what my theory behind this is, Mysterios are winning the titles tonight. They're going to be technically transitional champions for the Usos to then win the titles from them. So you got the face team for the Usos to then be, and then
Jay and Jimmy aren't exactly together at the moment, are they? So
no.
So that's something that would have to happen tonight, and then they could get into it quite quick. But
unless it's one of those things where Roman makes them go for the titles as a way to bond again, get that brother. Do you know what I mean? You never know. It's like, team bonding to get the titles to bring them close together again. That's something that they would come up with.
We've got another comment here as well. HCK Wrestling, very hope a win for Swiss Superman. He deserves a major title reign. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. I just don't think it will be. I think we're all fans of Cesaro, and all think that he could use a push like that. I think he could pull it off, but I don't think where WWE built him ready to do it. Like you say, not tonight. I think that what they've done with him in the past few months, credit to WWE, is they've listened and they've done very well with him. And credit to Cesaro. I mean, he's always been great. So it's refreshing, but I don't see it happening just yet myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you guys haven't already, go back and check out me and Scott sat down with Cesaro, didn't we? A couple of years ago now, back when it was safe to actually sit and do interviews with wrestlers. Spoke with Cesaro, really lovely guy, and you can check that out over on the main Rebellious Noise YouTube channel. Talking of face-to-face interviews as well, we sent none of us were brave enough to actually go out in the COVID stuff, so we sent Scott out as the bravest one. So we sent Scott out to interview Kaylee Ray and Rampage Brown from NXT UK. For those of people that haven't seen it yet, Scott, what kind of stuff, without spoiling the video for everyone, what kind of stuff did they talk about? How was it?
Yeah, it was really good, very nice. We've got some more coming as well, by the way, yeah. So please subscribe. There'll be more interviews coming up as well. But yeah, Kaylee Ray and Rampage Brown, we did them together. Kind of touched on Rampage, like rampaging through NXT UK, the first 6 months being so dominant, coming in such a prominent position. Got his thoughts on that. And Kaylee Ray, we talked about like her forever champion thing and who she'd like to see as a forever champion other than her, basically. So obviously I won't give it away, but check it out. It's quite interesting. Quickly go on this comment here. Where are y'all from? Y'all have accents. I'm from Dallas. We are from jolly old England.
What do you mean I've got an accent? What are you saying?
What do you mean? We're all from London. But hey, we're connecting around the world. Dallas. Yeah. Never been to Dallas. I'd love to. Been to Houston. But yeah.
Dallas, home of WrestleMania next year, Dallas.
It is, yeah. Are you going to go to WrestleMania? Are you going to go? Jose or Jose? I don't know how you'd pronounce it, depending, I guess, which country.
Is there a hyphen on the go?
Comes from. There is. It's hard. Well, it's a screen name. Hard to tell.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because isn't it like the Mexican pronunciation is with the more of a, it sounds like a H to us, and then the
Jose,
Portuguese, like Jose Mourinho, isn't it? Like he's Jose Mourinho, not Jose Mourinho. So anyway, interesting language. It's funny, isn't it?
It's a bit like the name Jesus. It's
spelled
Jesus.
Jeff.
No,
like Jeff. Some places it's Hef. Maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe.
In other places, it's Geoff.
I remember when I was a kid. You know, when you're a kid and you first get into wrestling, you do some like weird stuff. You just you write your favorite wrestler's name down for no reason and stuff like. I just wrote all these wrestlers, and I didn't know how Jeff spelled his name, so I spelled it the way that I had seen Jeff spelled growing up. And I literally wrote it as Jeff, Geoff, and then looking back at it now, I can't see him as a Jeff in that kind of sense. We've got another comment here from HCK Wrestling. Which is Cesaro is such a talented wrestler, but Roman is too good and powerful. That's going to be fire. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be a spectacle. I think Cesaro is going to take advantage of this opportunity and show people why there are Cesaro sections out there. You know, he's going to show the office. He's going to show fans that don't quite buy it. You know, and I think he's got a point to prove. And I think Roman is absolutely incredible these days, so I'm really excited to see. And there's so many factors in it, you know, the Jimmy and Jay scenario, what's going to happen there, but it should be a good one.
I mean, you think as well, like it could even be a case of like Cesaro's on top in the match, looks like he's about to win. The Usos could just literally get in, even if they just hit Cesaro, then it causes the DQ. Cesaro wins the match. Roman leaves with a title still, you know. But yes, I guess there's a number of ways that they can do things. You know, I do think though it really is a testament to Cesaro, you know, because he's been such a quality talent though for years and years and years. But you know, it just seems like he's never ever been given that opportunity. I think they said this is his first title match. So on SmackDown, they said he's never had a Universal title match or World title match before. Roman Reigns has been in 39. So
Was it that Cesaro's in before the Fatal 4 when he come back? Was that that was number one contender, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think it was number one contender for the Universal title.
That's actually what I asked him about. Actually, the time when he came back, Raw Mania. So
it's a bit like
and Beach Ball Mania as well.
It's a bit like that triple threat match with Charlotte last year and on NXT when they were like she's had like 60 women's title matches. One of those stats, isn't it?
I remember we were like, "Don't say that stat out loud, please." It doesn't help. It doesn't help what people think. Another comment here. So, what was it you said? They're coming to Dallas. I'll go to it. WrestleMania, mate. Have you not heard? WrestleMania. We were talking about WrestleMania is going to be in Dallas. Go, enjoy it. Well, as long as it's safe.
Yeah. I mean, technically they'll say it's Arlington, but yeah.
Oh yeah, true. But are they branding it as Dallas though?
Yeah.
Surely
it'd be easier to brand it as Dallas, right? That's more of a draw.
But it's same as when they do New York and New Jersey. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. Texas Mania is always fun, I feel. Obviously, 25 had the dud Triple H Randy Orton match, but other than that, Taker Michaels, that was pretty decent.
There we go. See, the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, provisionally for Sunday, the 3rd of April, 2022.
Provisionally. They didn't used to say that, did they?
Well, no, because initially it did, and then when it was announced, it just said April, so possibly they could do the 2-night thing. So if it's 2 nights, then it will be the 2nd and 3rd of April.
Don't do 2 nights.
Or what you do is you just do 1 night, but you don't do it as an 8-hour show. You do it as a 1 night, 3 or 4 hour show. Make it palatable. People watch it and they'll be like, "What a great show that was!" because it was manageable. Not like 6-7 hours into it, thinking, "I need to go to bed."
Yeah, as we always say, it's
quite 2 nights though. So it has to be 2 nights going forward now, surely.
Yeah, but even 2 nights, they kind of, I don't know. That was hard.
They were 3 hours each, weren't they? They were 3 hours and a bit hours each, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the first one was obviously a bit longer because of the delay, wasn't it? The rain delay.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think every pay-per-view sort of since the pandemic started has been 2 to 3 hours. So, Rob, we've got a question for you as well.
Yeah.
Just because he's ugly. That's it.
Yeah. So it's the mic thing. It started the very first time we done one. I was like, I've got a mask, and I just stuck it on, and it's been like that since, really.
True. You switched it out with your hurricane
mask. I might bring that back for an episode. I'm in the middle of getting a one done for the live stream, but
oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah. So
all that sequins and all that is going to be the EST of RNPW.
Well, I've got like a little red noise bit like on the side by the eye, kind of like a teardrop.
Oh man.
Yeah. So if all goes well, then it'll come. I'm just waiting for confirmation that it's able to be made and stuff like that. But if not, Lucas, I'm coming to you because you're people in the business to go to for that stuff.
We've got one more comment as well. Is the Swiss Cyborg for Universal Champion? It's hopefully, but I can't see it tonight. I mean, potentially Cesaro could potentially be one of the stronger favorites for Money in the Bank, and then that if he does win it, that could be the way.
Yeah, but the thing is, Money in the Bank's always good when it's someone breaking through that, which usually would be someone like Cesaro. But when you've just been in the title picture, why do you need to win that? So I don't think it'd be Cesaro. I think this match is telling us Cesaro won't win the Money in the Bank, basically.
Yeah. And
we say that, but then he's kind of superseded everything we've said before. We didn't think he'd win that.
Yeah, but not just for him. I mean, because it's like I don't know, like because someone's got a face reigns next month as well, so it probably will be Cesaro again. Is what I'm thinking. So.
Yeah, maybe. We've got I Am Jose again. Feel sad because Undertaker left. We should go against the Fiend Bray Wyatt at Extreme Rules. Well, we know obviously Bray is currently off TV himself at the moment, but obviously we don't know the circumstances around that. If it is personal reasons or if it is a case of that they've just got nothing for him. If it is personal reasons, then we're hoping that everything is okay with him.
I just started smiling because of these. These comments I've just seen here. Hold on. I always used to bring a piece of paper to a wrestling match. You ready for the punchline, boys? Just in the case my opponent was The Rock. Oh, I like that. I like that. Lucky ball, you're on the ball, mate. That was cool.
Matt Ball. Aye. Look, no. Back to that comment though. I think this is the risk they're going to have. We're going to have this all year now because obviously WrestleMania is in Texas. And so everyone all year is obviously going to. But the big discussion as we get close to it will be, one or two questions really. Think about. Well done, Mr. Ball. No, the big question though will be obviously, will The Undertaker go into the Hall of Fame or will he wrestle a match at the show?
Probably both.
Or will he do both?
Or at least I think a bit of a walk down the ring and beat someone up.
It's Texas. It's going to be HBK and HBK and Taker, isn't it?
Round 3
with Austin as special ref.
Austin, yeah.
The problem you have with it is obviously Taker body wise is done. Like he's finished. Like he can't. I mean, look, I'm not going to rule out anything like cinematic for certain. I guess in this day and age, we're obviously Daniel Bryan, the Edge, and so many people coming back from these.
There's a good point here by my pal Vinny.
Look, I
want another Boneyard match. I'd love to see that. I think that was amazing, and it's a great way to extend his career if they needed to. But yeah,
but I think they just risk becoming kind of like a parody of themselves. They were, and the main one I guess people want to see will be him versus Sting, which obviously can't happen.
It could. Mark Calloway versus Sting in
But even what Sting and Darby Allin did, they did that.
That's Street
that
Fighter
thing. So yeah. Here's a cool theory I want to get to. Right.
Yeah.
JVDB. Bo Dallas for Money in the Bank, going to be the best return story ever. 2 years off TV, fired, then quietly rehired, put in a Money in the Bank match, wins the briefcase, catches in, wins and reigns for 7 years straight.
See, Josh,
you better believe it. Yeah, I'd love it.
Unreal.
I love it.
Josh, he's a friend. He knows that I love Bo Dallas, and I'd love that to happen, but it seems sadly that his time is done. Who's your favourite wrestler and who will be at the WrestleMania in Dallas?
Let's do a quick round table of favourite wrestler at the moment, at least. Yeah, like who are you most enjoying at the moment? I guess we'll do it like that. Or no, do all time-ish? What do anyone do it? All right,
all time and then now.
I go through phases. There's a point where Raven was my favourite wrestler, So, Raven, Punk, Shawn Michaels, depends on the era. So I'd rather go with, at the moment for me, I'd say the person I'm enjoying the most when I'm like, I want to see what they're doing next. Someone I thought I would never say in this Roman Reigns. Everything about the way he's been since he returned has been amazing. I mean, I always thought he had potential to be great, and once he stopped shoving him down our throat and he tweaked his character, but it's just been amazing. So yeah, what about you guys?
We know JBDB's
as champion, of course. Yeah.
I agree, Roman. I was never. I wasn't one of those that hated Roman because it was cool. I just wasn't a fan of Seth and Dean. Had moved away from the Shield when they split, and Roman was still like carrying that Shield like persona. Yeah. Now he's kind of broke away from that, especially with his new music, which is incredible.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it in a pay-per-view setting.
Yeah. So that will be, I'm so glad that he's finally away from all of that. Close followed though by I don't know.
Jay or Jimmy, which one?
Jimmy, which one? Come on, be honest.
You can't make me pick. No, you can't make me pick between them. I've been down with them since day one. Ish.
Oh, where's your shirt? Yeah, where's your shirt?
Oh, I haven't got it today. I wore that for the Rebellious. A Talk and Beans podcast when I first came on. That was that long ago, man.
What did you think of the t-shirts on SmackDown, by the way? The right hand man and then the nobody's bitch one.
Lucas looks lost.
What? What are you on about?
Did you not see them? So obviously Roman had the Acknowledge Me t-shirt on.
Okay.
Then Jay had his usual right-hand man t-shirt, and then Jimmy has got one made up exactly the same like style of writing, but it just says "Nobody's bitch" on the front because of what happened the previous week when he basically was saying to Jay that Roman treats him like he's bitch, and nobody will talk to him like he's a little bitch. If you guys watched Late at SmackDown, you'd know what was going on.
Do you reckon they're on sale?
Probably.
I might have to grab one. Oh man.
Okay. Okay, and Dan and Lucas, we'll get to yours favorite wrestlers at the moment. And...
You want to go first, or should I?
I'm trying to think. I guess I want to say someone different. I guess Reigns, I'm enjoying. I think we all are. Like he's, I think I liked Reigns before. To be fair, I just felt obviously it was just that mold they've copied obviously since Day Dot, really, hasn't it? To get an over baby face and to just shove them down your throats, basically. But it was very hard to do that in the modern era with obviously the outside influence of the independent wrestling scene, which obviously didn't exist, 30 years ago. And the fact that the product is just so much bigger now, so awesome, so much, not bigger, but so much, there's so much more of it, sorry, is the correct answer there. Someone like Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't wrestle regularly on house shows, on television. He'd only wrestle big events. It was an attraction to come and see him wrestle. Whereas Roman Reigns, obviously, there was that period, that weird period where there wasn't a brand split in between 2012 2016, pretty much. Yeah. And obviously so many people were wrestling, Raw Smackdown every single week. That was your life. I mean, obviously the house shows, the weekend, the pay-per-views, when they came about. And that really weird. It's a really weird era to watch back because it's kind of like the network for a little while. That the network
did those super shows, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really odd era to watch of television, wrestling television. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, to be fair, you know what? I'll switch it down to the women's division. To be fair, because I'm a real big fan and champion of Bianca Belair. I think she's phenomenal, and I think she's someone who we're only just getting started with her potential. Her potential is as high as it goes because she's just incredible. Like just that moment at Mania when she caught Sasha Banks and cleanly walked up the ramp, like with her and threw her back in the ring. Like, it's just those things like that where, and obviously another thing to watch on the network, by the way, is the RVD Icons thing. I've watched it earlier tonight, and Bianca Belair. Not that she reminds, again, I don't always get misquoted as me thinking that she reminds me of RVD, but in the kind of ethos that they have, like RVD was very creative, wasn't he? That his whole kind of thing. And Bianca Belair, she's the same kind of thing. She's got that creativity, which obviously only she can display. I mean, of all time, by the way, my favourite's Hulk Hogan. Always has been, always will be. But yeah, at the moment, Bianca Belair for me.
For me, obviously, from what you guys have said, Roman at the moment, I think is doing some of the best work of his career. And I think, do you know what? I honestly think a lot of the credit for that has to go to Paul Heyman as well. I think, the work that Heyman's probably done behind the scenes as well. He's probably just been to Vince and been like, look, just let me go with this character. And it shows like what a brilliant wrestling brain he's got as well. But I'll be a bit different. Someone whose work I thought has been incredible the last sort of few months has been Sheamus, actually. And I think he's been in some of the best form of his career, like in ring wise. He went away injured, he come back in brilliant shape.
Didn't look like he was going to come back for a bit as well. Remember,
exactly,
there was rumors that he wasn't coming back. So
and like some of the matches he's had when he's come back, he's just looked like he's not missed a beat, and I just feel as though he's just been really, really good. And obviously winning the US title, I think it was a good way of him saying basically like, well done, you're doing really well. He had those banging matches with Drew as well. Obviously shout out has to go to Drew as well. He's been brilliant as well. I mean, especially I think though the whole thing is it's been really tough for everybody with the whole Thunderdome era and then before that the Performance Center era, because there's no fans. They're not really going to know how the fans are going to take to people. So I think for WrestleMania, it was interesting to see how the crowd were going to react to certain people as well. And just feel as though the what? Sorry.
Tamina,
exactly. So Tamina, so previously mentioned, like, Tamina would not have got the title, would not have got the tag team titles, but for the reaction at WrestleMania to her.
Yeah. Quickly, just before we move on, he's facing Cena at SummerSlam, right? Like, that's where they're going with it, right? The US champion,
maybe.
Thing. Cena put up the WWE logo on his Instagram. Sheamus, I think, even shared something about Cena recently. There's slight subtle hints on their social media game that is at least intentionally pointing that way, even if it's not the way they're going to go.
The thing is, it links it all back in, doesn't it? Because obviously Sheamus defeated John Cena to win his first WWE Championship. Almost 15 years ago.
Yeah, that weird thing through the table. Yeah. We'll get to a few more comments here quickly. So we got Jose coming back with his favorite wrestler is The Undertaker, his first match against Dream Team in 1987. I mean, how could you not fall in love with his persona and what an amazing wrestler he was. JVDB, boat aside, my favourites CM Punk, Finn Balor, and Cross. Punk is obvious. Balor, I feel, is one of the best in the company and should have been allowed another world title run. Cross, what a character. I agree. I think Balor, it's a shame the way things went when he got injured. I did think that time was going to come again, but I think with Balor, they kind of let him get stale. And I think the NXT thing has been really, really good for him. And obviously working alongside Cross as well. I think they've both brought the best out in them. Matt Ball coming with another joke. Why is Bayley so gangster? Because she chose the hug life. That's good. It's not as good as the other one. The other one did make me laugh more. And Matt's coming back with surely another joke. No disrespect to the guy, but no way. Jose is a favorite wrestler apparently.
And just going back on the point that that JDB was making about the whole thing with Balor and carrying Cross. If people don't necessarily watch NXT, then they've actually announced in 2 weeks' time that Balor is facing Cross for the NXT Championship in 2 weeks' time. Again, there's a takeover. After that, there's actually a takeover in another 2 weeks after that. Takeover in your house. So, yeah, it's interesting to see.
The one NXT show we covered last year was Takeover in the House, wasn't it? So,
yeah. In your gaff, wasn't it? Because we're British.
We didn't cover it, but I did do one,
Yeah,
I think, I think fair enough. Like, respect for CM Punk. Like, CM Punk was probably the first to break the mold completely of what an indie wrestler could do in the WWE. And there was that period in the mid 2000s where everyone just got so mistreated by the WWE. An indie star would come in, get mistreated, and leave and go back to the indies. And this included for reasons where they just end up being jobbed out. They'd be given stupid gimmicks. Scotty Goldman, and stupid names, all that kind of stuff would get changed. But CM Punk was the first one to break that mold. And obviously as well have probably one of the most iconic kind of runs really with the WWE Championship. Definitely the past 15, 20 years or so, Obviously it's hard to know how he's ranked. Again, it's always hard to know how his reigns stack up against Hogan's 80s reign or, Stone Cold when he, was the face. And even some of John Cena's ones, to be fair.
Or Roman's reigns.
You don't know.
Well, I think
you can have that one, Matt, if you want. By the way,
more jokes, please, Matt, though. More jokes. We like the jokes. Look, Balor's someone I've never really been able to get behind. He's just there's like a whole group of wrestlers that are in there kind of like not for me, and Balor's sadly one of those people.
Really, even his early NXT run. I mean, that was incredible.
No, not for me.
Wow. Wow, I mean, it was. Wow.
I've never. The only thing I've ever enjoyed Balor doing is when Bray Wyatt broke his neck at the neck twist thing.
Yeah, but that early NXT run was great. Like what?
That was.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it more because the other people, because the ensemble though. Like what I liked actually about Balor's first NXT run though is when I kind of feel they got it right the most. When they had something for everyone. Like you had obviously. Balor and Joe, and then obviously Nakamura came in later on, and they were like your indie guys who had the indie match at the main event, and that was sweet. But you also still had like Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains like in the tag division. Lucha House Party came into things, like later on, and so there was still like those fun elements. The women were doing their own thing, and then you still had like people like your Baron Corbin, etc. So you had
that show was very defined back then. NXT was very defined.
Whereas now, obviously, it is just like every match is the same. Like that the Cross and Balor match, to be fair, at the last takeover, whenever it was the Mania one, that was really solid, to be fair. But then it's just the fact you got people like Gargano and Cole and what's his name,
Ciampa,
Kyle O'Reilly, and there's other people who just it just feels like they don't wrestle for like the product, they wrestle just for themselves. How I feel anyway when I watch it. I'm just like, well, I didn't watch most of the last bits because it's just I know it's not for me. But Balor, like I think obviously he's made a career decision, which it is always one of those what ifs now. I guess like what if he did stay on the main roster? To be fair, I think he would have ended up out the company as one of the Black Friday releases. To be fair. Black Friday, Black Wednesday, Black Thursday,
Black Friday. The deal's coming in.
I've seen him getting released last year. To be fair, obviously with Gallows and Anderson, I've seen him just getting released with them because
I don't know, but I feel like they're using him quite well next. I think they've got a purpose for him there. I think they do. They do. And obviously Triple H, I think, is going to keep an eye on that. But quickly get to this comment because we know that Rob's got to leave us, and there's a comment dedicated to you, Rob.
No.
It's a bit aggressive, to be fair. And if you're going to wear a mask, not to be rude, you should get Rey Mysterio and a Kalisto mask. What happened to Lucha House Party? There's many questions there. First of all, Rob, you can't wear a Rey mask or a Kalisto mask.
I can't.
You're El Robo.
I am.
El Banquero Dinero.
There we go.
Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
One of those games.
I'm amazed you remember that.
I'm good, mate. But Rob's going to get a custom mask. Don't worry. Yeah. We can't copy someone else's mask. But as far as Lucha House Party, we're all big fans. We were big fans of them. We liked them. We did like them. So
we were.
But Rob, I know you've got to leave us.
I am. This is the first pay-per-view that I'm not going to watch since we've been doing these predictions, for over a year. Because I'm working I've got to be up at 5. So, and in the UK, it'll probably be finishing about 5. So,
yeah. The clown's cracking the whip, isn't it?
Yeah. So, man. So, I'll see you all on the review.
Yeah, see you there, mate.
Cool.
Yeah.
Always,
have fun.
Say bye to Ronnie. See you later.
See you, pal.
Okay, we get to a few more comments here as well. So, just an update on what we were talking about earlier. Here we go. Is it? Oh, why is it not working? Unfortunately, Balor is too quiet to do well on the main roster. I agree, he was made stale, but it's going to look going back to a looks business and all those in the shape. I think is too small for superstar status. I guess if that's the case, that's where NXT can work for him. Obviously, I don't think it is going back to that because they've done so much in recent years to move away from it. Moving on again, Cross will retain against Finn. I think. Reckon at some point it will end up on Dunn, which should happen because Dunn is amazing in the ring. Not the best promo, but best technically in the company. Yeah, I think Dunn has consistently risen in years. And it's clear to see that WWE sees something in him. From the very start, he was the highlighted talent in the first UK tournament. Even though he didn't win it, he was obviously the one they had their eyes on. So I'd like to see Dunn more involved. And I think they've done very well with him because he has gradually done that. Like I think people haven't really got sick of him. They've built him quite well. He's done different kinds of storylines, but it always feels like he's growing and growing and growing. They didn't just shove him on Raw, which they could have done a long time ago. He's done his time in NXT. He's done a bit of NXT UK work. He was there for the inception of the WWE UK stuff. He's done some main roster stuff, but it hasn't been oversaturated. So I think Dunn's a good example of someone they have used quite well. Some people might look at him and other people in similar situations go, "Oh, he's still not on Raw and SmackDown." But I don't think it's because they've forgotten about him. Like every time he's featured well, no matter where he is. So I think he's like the exception to the rule as far as like usually you'd be like, oh, he's still not up there, you know. But I think that, again, wherever he is, he's like an attraction, and yeah, credit to him and the way he's been booked. To be fair.
And the character that he's like portraying at the moment on NXT is that basically everyone seems like they're ducking him, sort of thing. So it's he's like, oh, you know, Karrion Kross doesn't want to face me, he's scared of me. Balor doesn't want to face me, he's scared of me. And I mean, the way that I feel as though it's going, it's like saying about that the title will end up on him at some point. I mean, so the way that I'm thinking is going to happen at the moment is, so for this week on NXT, there's a steel cage match for the North American title. So I think that Bronson Reed's going to win that. And then it's going to be Gargano versus Cross or Balor at TakeOver. So whoever wins that is going to face him.
Well, Gargano's villain as well, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, this is the awkward thing as well. So obviously with Danny Burch not being there as well, they're actually seeming like they're aligning Dunn now with only Lorcan. So, you know, could potentially they have Dunn and Lorcan going against MSK maybe for the tag titles? But, you know, again,
they don't do like a random team, don't they? So
yeah, I mean, they seem like they like that with Dunn. Obviously, they did the thing with Riddle, and then when Riddle couldn't. Was it Riddle or was it Dunn when they put Thatcher in there? Was it? I think it was.
Didn't Riddle get called up or something?
Yeah, something about. I'm not too sure. I mean, you guys correct us with what it is, but I know. Yeah, Timothy Thatcher was. Was the one there, but yeah. I mean, what do you think about it, Lucas?
About Dunn?
Yeah.
I think look, Dunn's obviously someone who Triple H is champion, isn't he? For a number of since like he started basically, and he's ticked a lot of the right boxes in WWE, and obviously everyone doesn't know what his boxes are, but like there are some of them which you just know. Like obviously he's worked hard on his image and his look. You know, he's been the kind of I'll do anything guy where he's, like you said, he's been to NXT UK, he's done obviously NXT in the United States. I see him more as a tag or North American NXT title guy for now, though. I think, like he's someone who's they're probably best off saving that moment, because the thing of NXT obviously is that there's a lot of them which obviously have stuck around for so long now, like Gargano and Ciampa, and I'll still argue there's people like Dexter Lumis, who probably needs. I'd probably be more willing to see him kind of get a main title shot. Because I semi agree with Ball. Like I think we are going back to the image being more a thing. And if you look at the main roster card for the title matches, you've got Roman Reigns, big guy. Finn Cesaro is like an indie darling, but he's still, you know, again, like he's not like big, but he's still like at least in shape and a very good wrestler. And obviously over in the WWE title, you've got literally Lashley, Drew, and Strowman, like three of the biggest guys in the company. So it's kind of, you know, and people like Rollins, like they were Rollins and Styles, you know, for ages, they were WWE title guys, weren't they? They were guys who held that championship and were in those matches, and they're nowhere near that anymore. So, you know, I think I think definitely Matt's onto something with that. And even if you look at Mania as well, it was Edge. He was involved again, not like the biggest guy, but they are definitely looking kind of going back to that. And even anyone we're thinking about coming back, like to end these title reigns, they're going to be those traditional kind of big guys, your Lesnar's, Cena's. You know, you still got Orton knocking about. So, but yeah, look, Dunn, like, you know, I think he's one of those where he's still quite young as well, even though he's so tenured. Because I mean, I don't know if people know this about Dunn, but obviously he started one of his early promotions he did was LDN. You know, and there's matches that if Sanjay ever wants to release them, could probably do quite well around YouTube of like a very green, but very, you know, like the start kind of thing of like obviously of Pete Dunne. And that was years ago, but he's still young in terms of wrestling. Because something I was thinking about, like looking at this card, is so many people are over 40 on this card. It's crazy. Could even that tag title match, it's literally the 40-year-olds and Dom. You know, like Dom, obviously, you know, he's Ray's son, but you're talking about people like Robert Roode, who, you know, he can be one of those people, I think, where, and the thing is, there is some time for them to fix it, but I think it is his career path is defined now. He's gonna be the tag team guy, maybe US title, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, like Robert Roode, he was in TNA, wasn't he, for years? He was one of their main guys. You know, like someone said to me, I think it was Barrow actually said to me, he said that, you know,
did you just drop that name on the floor, mate?
No, not that Barrett, Lewis Barrett. I'm only not Wade Barrett.
Well, I know he was at Dropkicks, mate, but come on.
Yeah, sorry, not Wade. So just to clarify, because he's literally come around about 10 minutes. But
you are on a wrestling show. Remember when you said his name? So.
Sorry. No, I mean he said to me that, you know, Robert Roode was basically like the Triple H of TNA. Like in the sense that he was always around the main title. He was just the kind of guy, the villain that you got the belt onto. Same as obviously Triple H was back in the early 2000s for WWE. And you know, in the day, his WWE run is going to be known for a couple of tag matches and
a very good NXT run.
Very good NXT run, which I almost found out didn't have. Well, not his run, but that. What is it with Andrade, wasn't it? Like, Andrade only beat Drew because they didn't think someone else was believable to beat Drew. Someone else. That's it. Yeah, Andrade. Sorry. The point's lost. But the point I was going to make doesn't make sense anymore. It wasn't about the person I'm talking about. But I'll finish it just in case people think I'm gone crazy. But obviously, Andrade beat Drew for the NXT Championship because they felt that Adam Cole was too small to beat Drew. And that is the right decision to do because, yeah. But I thought it was about Robert Roode, but no. But yeah, Bobby Roode was a fantastic NXT champion.
I think we need to mention this though, Lucas. When me and May were in the pub last weekend. Nothing of it either. He's trying to do that, you know. He's trying to be like that. Clearly.
I mean, just going back on your point about the 40-year-olds and stuff, like. We mentioned it back at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Like Drew was the only person in that men's Elimination Chamber that was actually under the age of 40. It's like that is and you know we look at Rey Mysterio and you're thinking like, oh, he's like 46 years old now, and it's like, you know, in WWE terms, 46 is like a baby. Like you think you got like Goldberg and that coming back at like 54 and he's winning titles. Whereas you're thinking Ray's probably still got another like 6 or 7 title runs in him. But
I hope not. yeah. I'm not the world title. Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean,
who knows?
He's been great since he's been back though. He's, you know, I've enjoyed him being back. So
yeah, I think as well, and it's only going to help Dominic as well, like having his dad around. And we said about I mentioned it on the later SmackDown thing as well, that it's only going to benefit Dominic from being in the ring with 3 guys that are pretty much veterans of the business now. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, Rey Mysterio, and Bobby Roode. You know, for Dominic, that you can't get a better learning experience than that. You're in there with your dad, who's one of like the greatest luchadors probably of all time. You'd probably put him up there, definitely. You know, then you've got obviously Roode and Ziggler as well, who, you know, you could put them in a singles division and they would easily hold up a singles division and be like a top guy there. But then also, you know, with Dom, he's going to be pretty good. You know, if you're looking at these matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been impressed with how he's come along and stuff like that. Quickly get to a few more comments here as well. So, did you touch on this? Did we touch on it? None of the small guys are getting a serious look in as the face of the company. I guess, yeah, not really as the face. You've got Roman Reigns is definitely the face these days, and he's not exactly small. And Jose, come back again. Are you ready for Fast and Furious 9 with John Cena and I wish Eric Rowan was on SmackDown? So two points there, very different. But firstly, on the Fast and Furious 9, I've only ever seen Fast and Furious 1, by the way. Yeah, well, I hadn't seen. Basically, long story. Well, it's not that long of a story. when it first came out, I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. Then the second one came out, and I was like, I haven't seen the first one yet. The third one came out, I ain't seen the first two. And it just went on and on. And my mates were really into it and whatever else. So on the Talk of Beats podcast, if you're a fan of Fast and Furious,
you did this decided as well, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So the same thing happened. And I was going to do a whole series on the Fast and Furious. We ended up doing one of them, did the first one, but then we didn't do it. Like we did our Star Wars series went for the year. We did a Batman series for the year. But Fast and Furious was meant to happen. We only ended up doing one episode. We will do them. So again, at the moment, I've only seen the first one. But next up, to Fast and Furious. So if you like Fast and Furious, check out the Talk of Beats podcast where we talk about not just wrestling, but we also talk about films as well. So yeah, do you guys watch Fast and Furious? Dan doesn't watch any films. I don't know why I'm asking him. But Lucas,
I saw them filming a few. They did film a little bit of Fast and Furious in Canary Wharf, which is not that far from me.
Okay. So you're basically in the film, Dan.
Pretty much.
We get you an IMDb. Lucas, what about yourself? Are you a big fan? Obviously, Lucas, you are a big part of our Rebellious Noises film and TV channel, Screen One. So if you're a fan of film and TV, guys, check out Screen One from Screen One, even from Rebellious Noise. But yeah, are you a Fast and Furious fan?
Yeah, like weirdly, like I was, and I lost interest. Then I was again.
Come back. Okay, yeah. It's all about the Rock, isn't it?
Yeah, like obviously the directorial change, the direction changes of that series has given it more life. I think obviously it went from about
don't say too much,
racing element.
Remember, I'm new to this.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm saying don't say too much, man. Don't say too much.
Yeah, look, I'm not okay. I won't spoil it for you, but it changed from the racing to heist movie very quickly. The genre of movie changes essentially. And I think that's a well-known thing about them.
Yeah, true.
Since The Rock got involved with it, and not just The Rock, to be fair, like obviously they keep bringing in obviously new people to be part of this ensemble, and we're at the stage now where it's sort of like just become its own sort of thing. And what I like about it, and again, this is maybe something more for the film channel, is that it kind of is like, along with the Transformers, is the biggest middle finger that you can give to Hollywood critics, because this is what people want. And
yeah, we're gonna do it either way, and people come and watch it,
yeah, and critics will hate it. To be fair, some of the reception, some of the films have been actually quite decent, and it's not as polarizing, it seems, as like Transformers, let's say. But on the whole, it's one of those things where the critics will never understand like why this franchise is going to make $1 billion every single installment, and because of it, it's so popular outside of America, which is a unique thing. Of even if it was to start flopping in America, they would just go, well, F this, we'll just release it in Europe and in Asia, where we're going to make probably close to $1 billion anyway. So, yeah, I'm a fan. Like, yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing John Cena's role in it. It's always very difficult when you join a franchise late on, I think, though, because obviously, especially now number 9, we're now in uncharted territory, really, aren't we? Because there's lots of people that join sequels to films or join like the third one, maybe the fourth, or a reboot, let's say. But to join a 9th installment, do you know what I mean? Like to join number 9 of a continuous...
Yeah, you must feel like you're joining when it's already over. Like, but how could you refuse to be part of it? Especially if you've got a new budding Hollywood career,
Well, yeah, and obviously John Cena, he's had success with Bumblebee, which is getting a sequel as well. So, he could be a very busy guy. Like Hollywood-wise, but sadly for wrestling-wise, that might obviously mean that, well, his obviously appearances have obviously been, I can't even say the word sporadic, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean? And it really, I'm not gonna lie, like John Cena's, the decreasing of John Cena has been very sad for me, because, I'm a massive Cena fan, and he's someone who you just never think it's gonna happen. You just never, he stood in that ring so many times and, got booed out the building, got his T-shirt thrown back in at one night stand, and said like he would be here forever. And, he was, until obviously.
Yeah, it was for a bit, yeah.
Well, for a bit, like 15, 16 years.
No, I know what I mean. I think it is weird looking at someone like Cena, because he took the brunt of the company for so long. And like you say, he's, But I do think he is going to be doing something soon. I really do think something's going to happen with Sheamus. Earlier, Lucas, you mentioned busy man, I think, in reference to Cena. And we're going to quickly focus on a little bit of you here. So once again, if you haven't already, check out Screen One, which is our film and TV channel. Lucas hosts a lot of videos on there. And obviously, this is our wrestling channel. We are part of Rebellious Noise. We have a lot of different channels. Check out the descriptions. You'll find all of them. And hopefully, you'll subscribe. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Again, we are a brand new wrestling channel from Rebellious Noise. And also, I should really get to a little comment here. Let's have a look. We've got Lucas is fast and furious on his bike. Hashtag Premiership Cycling. Hashtag donate now. And yes, to the one above. So I assume back to Matt's comment that's in reference to. Lucas at the moment is raising money for Shelter, which is a charity in the UK to help homeless people. Not just homeless as well, but anyone struggling with housing and things like that. Obviously, don't need to tell you guys, we all know what's happened in this world in the past year. It's been tough for everyone, but obviously homeless people have been particularly hit hard. Lucas is doing a great job at the moment. He's cycling to the stadiums of every London team from the top. Is it 6 flights
Top
you're
six,
doing in
yeah.
English football? So a total of 20 clubs. You've done 10 so far. We're at the heart. Is it 10 so far? We've released the videos for.
10. I've done 11, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is like when Raw was taped on a Tuesday, brother. Keep it quiet. We've got 10 of them out so far. The 11th is coming up, and he's been doing a great job. Everyone that's donated, again, the link is not in the description for here because we haven't put it in the wrestling stuff, but it's linked. And we're going to do a recap video on the main Rebellious Noise channel. But check out our Facebook, facebook.com/RebNoise, REBNOISE, and also on our Instagram as well, where you will see basically the updates and what happens on Lucas's journey. He's gone through rain, he's gone through sunshine, he's gone through winds, he's gone through all different parts of London to raise money, and it's been great, Lucas. It's been great watching the journey. I hope you've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying watching you.
Yeah, look, like it's one of those things where it's just it was an idea in my head, and I like the idea. For me, I like the idea of a challenge and raising money for charity, and this bit obviously both those things. And yeah, look, it's been good. Obviously, for some reason, obviously, I say this for Jose's benefit because in the UK we're used to basically the weather's basically rubbish until it gets about this time, and it usually cheers up. And last year, when we was obviously deep in lockdown, it was like. The sun was just like
scorching,
it was like the hottest day,
blistering heat.
It was like being all that out. It's like being grounded, wasn't it?
Yeah. And now this year, now that obviously over here, because of our fantastic vaccination program and just things moving positively forward, we are obviously able to come and go out and do stuff. But it's literally just been the most miserable weather known to man. There's been days where it's almost snowed in parts of the country over here, which is just bizarre, like for this time of the year. But yeah, look, no, I've enjoyed it, and obviously I'm hoping people are enjoying the videos, of them, and I do more on my Instagram as well, like live kind of bits and pieces, some of the stuff that maybe isn't too PG that I've put up, particularly when I got a cramp in my leg. That was a good few Instagram posts that I had to put up.
Yeah, so if you want to see Lucas in pain, check his Instagram out.
He basically says the word cramp a lot, but without the M in it.
But yeah, definitely, yeah. So Lucas, been really impressed, obviously, and it's commendable what you're doing. So yeah, keep it up. Everybody in the comments and watching, please check out our Facebook to check out those videos, and please donate if you can, even if it's just 50p to a £10 note, whatever you want to give. It's all going to help. It's going to a great cause. We do got a lot of things going on at Rebellious Noise, but one thing, sadly, I'll get to this comment quickly as well before we get back to some wrestling. Do y'all have a gaming YouTube channel? We don't actually. We've covered some gaming stuff on our website, but we don't actually have a gaming channel. Maybe in the future we'll do more gaming stuff. I know Dan's got some ideas doing some gaming stuff as well. WWE kind of gaming as well, even though the WWE games are crap. But what's the best PC game for gaming? Talking on Zoom and stuff. I think Zoom, you can get anything, to be fair, man. Like most things are capable of doing Zoom. But gaming, Yeah, we're not really PC gamers, I don't think, unless you are, Lucas.
No.
I do a bit of PC gaming, but more old school games. And Dan would probably suggest the PlayStation. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. Let's get back to
Mega Drive, mate.
let's get back to wrestling because that's what we're here for. And right, what match are you guys most looking forward to? I think for me it is Reigns and Cesaro. I know we talked about that quite a bit already, so I'm hoping one of you guys have another one.
I'm quite interested in the WWE title match, to be fair. Like, not so much I don't expect it to be the most, enthralling in-ring action ever known to man. Like, I don't think it's going to be superb in ring, but it's just one of those where I think because my thing with this card is like, my reaction is like, is this it? Because like, it is one of those like meh kind of cards, and it's just like with triple threat match having the no DQ rule. It opens up obviously maybe some interference. Like maybe are we going to get something which shows me that next month we're not going to be seeing like just this again at Money in the Bank, or some variety of this. Are we going to see like a return? Are we going to see a debut? Are we going to see something? Or are we going to see like a big spot? Are we going to see a big surprise or winning maybe?
I feel like this show in general is like it needs something,
Yeah,
it needs a surprise,
doesn't it?
It
Needs to be this match.
Yeah.
Aleister Black's just going to come in and kick their heads off.
But he's the guy that were jobbing out a few months ago,
Yeah,
I think
this is WWE for you though.
I actually heard. So I was listening to a different podcast like earlier today.
How dare you?
I know, right? Blasphemy, innit? But what they were saying on there was, I mean, if you look at Aleister Black's career on the main roster, it's pretty much been promos from a cupboard, coming for a few squash matches, promos from a cupboard, few squash matches, promos from a cupboard, have a couple of matches, then go back to your cupboard and do some more promos.
Didn't he get blinded or something?
And then did a gimmick where he's wearing an eye patch for a little bit. So.
Yeah. And we all know where's he gone.
And he got locked.
Ronnie Storm, this is your moment. He's a gimmick infringement, brother.
This is the same guy that got thrown off of the roof of the Titan Towers last year, along with Rey Mysterio.
But this is how literally with WWE, only what you did last week matters. Aleister Black pinned Bobby Lashley at Mania last year. Pinned him. Bobby Lashley at Mania this year defended the WWE Championship. It literally does not matter what you do last year in WWE. Andrade was United States champion. Is no longer employed by the organization. Daniel Bryan, fair enough, he thinks a little bit different, but I would use it still. He was in the main event of WrestleMania. He's no longer employed by the company. It doesn't matter like what you done like a year ago, 6 months, even 3 months ago. Like if on Raw tomorrow night or tonight on Backlash, they decide that Aleister Black is now the next main eventer, then he will be the next main eventer. And at Money in the Bank, we were talking about him as the next main event. It's just agree for you.
To that point, that's kind of how Cesaro's been, and I'm saying I don't think they're going to pull the trigger with him as far as the title goes. But again, like you said, if they're booking it in the way you're saying they book things, which you're right, they do a lot of times of like, well, this is how we see him in a moment. Then yes, Cesaro could be walking away with the title as well. A few extra comments here on the Aleister Black match. Aleister Black beat Lashley at Mania 36, like you just said, Lucas. Could use that to have him face Lashley for the title. It's a good point. JVDB also coming in with a quick, not to brag, but I'm a multi-champion. WWE 2K20 to get me on for that. Well,
loser.
Yeah. I used to love the WWE games, but they've not been good for a long time. But,
not been good since Just Bring It, mate.
No, come on. Like there was a few really good ones after that, mate. It's shut your mouth and here comes the pain. And even SmackDown vs. Raw had a decent run. But
what match are you looking forward to the most, then,
Dan? See, for me, I think quietly the match that's going to steal the show, I think, is going to be the SmackDown Tag Title match.
I'm weirdly looking forward to that one as well. I think I like all four guys. I think there's a good story to tell.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good ode to Eddie that he's his son and his best mate win the title. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think it's one of those that Dom's in there with three brilliant workers, and he seems like he's improving every time he gets in the ring. And it seems like that. I feel they've got a good story going with them. I mean, it's obviously going to lead to a Mysterio's like break up at some point. But I'm just for that feel good moment. I mean, I just feel as though this is going to be. I just hope they give it time. Like they've got 6 matches on here, so if they're going for a 3-hour show, then you're thinking it could possibly be what 25 minutes. 25 minutes.
Getting that long. But then again, like Dominic had big matches with Seth, didn't he? So long matches with Seth. So
yeah, and all credit to Seth as well. Then he put him, really gave him a lot of his time in those matches, and got him over pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I think that for the workers that are in that match, I think it could quietly steal the show. And Dolph Ziggler obviously stealing the show, and people's girlfriends apparently, according to his old T-shirts. So.
Yeah, but it's also scary because it feels like because of the way they treated those tag titles that it could be a 5-minute match as well.
Yeah, true.
So
yeah, I'm sure. I've just been checking. There's still nothing for the pre-show announced. So because usually one of those.
That'd be starting soon, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the pre-show starts 11 p.m. UK time. So in 16 minutes for anyone watching anywhere else. I guess I don't know what time zone you're watching in. But yeah, like it's usually one of those things where I've always kind of said this: a SmackDown tag or the US title has pre-show and written all over it anytime that match gets announced. Also, this will be the first pay-per-view I believe since SummerSlam, I think, without a women's tag team championship match on it. It's been quite a while since the belts have not been defended on pay-per-view.
Yeah, saying that, why didn't they just do that great moment from SmackDown on the pay-per-view? Maybe it's like Dan said earlier, they're trying to boost numbers on the shows,
Or you did at WrestleMania, you just give the ref an audible and just say to him, mate, the crowd are into this. Just tell him the finish has changed.
Yeah, I mean,
to be fair, I mean, there's 16 minutes before the show starts. I mean, I still think that Vince don't know who's winning each match yet.
Well, that's the thing. If reports are to be believed, it is, it's very much like that now, isn't it? Like Vince is constantly rewriting stuff, and yeah, we don't know what we're going to get, and it's just. I mean, obviously, I don't watch the weekly TV. I know, obviously, Dan, you have to for, LA with SmackDown. But for me, Raw, honestly, I sometimes have to refresh the results when I read the results. I just don't believe it's a new week. I'm like, this was last week.
Yeah. Essentially, I watch them so you don't have to, pretty much.
Honestly, I mean, this is obviously the popular kind of in thing to say now, but Raw is unwatchable. It is unwatchable as a product. I don't know how you do it, Dan, without needing some sort of medical intervention. It honestly, I know it's cool to say it because it's whatever. And no, look, I'm not an AEW fan either. It's
an amazing thing called a fast forward button, mate. You skip through bits of it, and it's like you pick up on what you need to kind of
skip it all. It's just the fact that for some reason,
don't tell him that. I literally find out what happens because I later SmackDown. I can't have him not watching Raw, mate.
It's a great show. I mean, sorry, it's a good. Yeah, do you watch it, Dan?
Yeah, you watch it, Dan. Stop encouraging him to do bad, Lucas.
But yeah, like to me, it seems like there's like a group of about 10 people who just get booked on every single segment. And they're just people, and we know they are sat in catering because, so many people have said it, previously, who've been released, like Mike Bennett, Clark Nellis, when he got released, said, I was sitting in catering for months. Like, just use the people. You're a 3-hour show. I just feel like we got more bang for our buck when Raw was an hour even. In some of the early Raws, 93, 94, you'll get 4 matches in some of them with still 3 promos of different people, plus recap from last week, plus announcing what's happening next week. But now we're on a 3-hour product, and we're barely getting more than 10 wrestlers.
I mean, I think. Go on. No, I was going to say with a 3-hour show. I mean, you think of the people they've got on the show now on their roster at the moment. I mean, going through the Raw roster at the moment. So Akira Tozawa has pretty much only been used in 24/7 stuff. Angel Garza is mainly backstage stuff and sticking roses up people's bums. That's a thing, by the way. Bray Wyatt, obviously, we don't know what's going on with him. We understand it could be some personal reasons. Drew Gulak, again, brilliant talent, 24/7 title picture, having a rose stuck up his bum.
And then re-signs as well, remember that?
Exactly, yeah.
Ago, so
obviously the Grand Metalik, they're doing some bits now with the Lucha House Party. So they're doing some what's it called? Some vignettes that they just did with Lucha House Party there. Humberto Carrillo, he's doing the feud thing with Sheamus, and thankfully he's okay from the nasty bump that he took on Raw.
Oh yeah, that's worrying.
I mean, and then you look down like Jeff Hardy. Like, how are you not using Jeff Hardy? Jinder Mahal's obviously only just come back with the two massive guys. I can't remember their names off the top of my head.
Changed their names, haven't they?
Shanky, Veer and Shanky. There we go, Veer and Shanky. Who else have we got? Keith Lee. Obviously, we don't know what's going on. No one seems to know what's going on with Keith Lee at the moment. But we hope that everything is okay. Mason T-Bar, like they had the thing with Drew for a couple of weeks, and it's like now you're like, okay, nothing for you.
Yeah,
enjoy the
forgotten about, don't they? Constantly, it seems.
Lucas's Mansoor.
Oh, I love Mansoor.
Literally,
again, organic, baby.
I told you, Raw is Mansoor.
one match.
Getting that shirt.
End your undefeated streak. See you later. Nothing. Mustafa Ali. What's he done?
Yeah, this is the thing. The biggest thing that wrestling's missing at the moment is an organic babyface. And obviously,
it's hard without fans, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Ricochet.
Mainly because of the fans. But, it is a case like someone like Mansoor, it's like he just had that streak going for him. And I know it was a stupid streak, and there's like, with streaks, you're always going to get compared to obviously Goldberg and maybe Asuka as well on the female side of things. But it's one of those where it was so organic that, and this is the thing, I don't think, because this is the thing, like, who they got right in the program, they're not wrestling fans. And we don't get that why that's important to us as fans, or why that at least intrigues us. Like, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, take, Mansoor and Tony Nese, two wrestlers who wrestle on 205 Live, okay? Two very talented wrestlers. I think Tony Nese is good at what he does, but Mansoor had an undefeated streak. So to me, as a wrestling fan, I'm instantly more interested in what Mansoor does because you've got that streak. Because with streaks, what are they designed to be done? They're designed to be broken.
Yeah.
So I want to think, who's going to end this streak? Same way we did it with Undertaker. Same way we did it with Asuka. Same way we did it with Goldberg. And so it's looking at this, which, if the writers just actually watched the product or watched wrestling before and understood that, like, we care about this stuff, you wouldn't see Mansoor debuting and, like I said, getting mistreated and not getting booked again after a week. He'd come in with a storyline of, I've been on 205 Live at NXT for the past, year or whatever. I've got a streak, and then build him up to something. But it's just missing that organicness, because even when you think back to, like, that weird period I was talking about earlier, like, 2013, 2014, 15, etc. But you still have those moments of, like, where Raw could surprise you. We had, like, United States US Open Challenge. You had the fact that they'd bring over, like, a tag team from SmackDown appear on Raw every now and again. Yeah. And so you had, or not from SmackDown, but, like, you'd see someone who mainly was on SmackDown be on Raw a bit more.
Yeah.
And you had those moments, or like when you had Paige get called up after Mania, and now it's just those moments don't exist. It's sad. It's just sad because everything has to be forced. Everything has to be like, overly done. Whereas Mansoor, I feel he would have naturally gotten over. He don't need to come in and debut and beat like Drew McIntyre and Lashley or whatever. But like, surely, having him face like Cedric and Shelton and, just the kind of solid mid-card guys, be a main event as well, and then build up to facing Sheamus, for the United States Championship. Like, that's a feud. Like, it's ready to go.
I mean, the thing is, they could have even held it out. I mean, if they're thinking of, like, redoing shows, and I heard that apparently they're still high on trying to do a Saudi show this year, why not just, as you say, try and keep him with some of the smaller guys up until then? And how massive could they build that match? Mansoor versus Sheamus, US title at that show.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's no US title match on this, is there? So
no US title, no tag title, no women's tag, no Raw tag.
I mean, like, still going, like, just quickly looking, like, back at the roster, like, you got people like Ricochet as well. R-Truth you know, people are not. And I mean, did they not even know Riddick Moss is still on? You know, he's still listed there. I mean, you mentioned as well. You mentioned Tony Nese. I mean, he's not even listed on Raw. He's not listed on SmackDown.
205 Live.
It's like they're still running the skeleton crew from the early pandemic.
Did he get released without us knowing?
Honestly, he's not even listed on NXT.
What? It's where he signed to 205 Live, isn't it? Unless they're doing some
Maybe.
sort of story where.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe it's like your storyline released. But
Yeah,
released him.
Yeah, so so he's on 205 Live. He's pretty much the only one on there. Like with there's like him, Brian Kendrick, who's a producer.
But the thing with Tony Nese, he's 35, and like I just think if you're mid 30s or late 30s, something, and you're stuck in like 205 Live.
He's young, mate. Young for WWE.
The main event scene, at least. Yeah, he's young.
Well, look, it's young, yes. Like if you've had experience at our position already, yeah, I get that. But if you're starting out, I feel it's about that time where something's got to happen. You can't just be on 205. What is he going to be like? 40 years old on 205 Live? Like never.
It does feel like a young man's program as well, don't it? So because it's a style. So. Yeah, we're quickly getting some comments as well. So Matt Ball says, I half disagree. Mansoor was not organic because he was pushed at people because of the Saudi shows, but now people have seen he is actually quality, so keen on him. And then followed this up with, you can't say it's organic because it's not believable, but a tiny unknown cruiserweight could win a 51-man rumble. I mean, yeah, obviously he was pushed for those Saudi shows. That's where the kind of streak would have started, and maybe it was like, I don't know. Does the casual Raw viewer care about Mansoor at the moment? So maybe that's the way they were looking at it. Like, yeah, this streak thing is more of a kind of like, if you pay attention and you know, sort of thing. So maybe that's why they didn't capitalize on it, or
no. My thing about him being organic is the fact that he was fresh. For me, he felt fresh. He felt like someone who obviously he was untapped in terms of Raw, SmackDown, etc.
Yeah.
Because he'd been so focused and concentrated on 205 Live, which I feel could have worked in their benefit, in their favour. Because obviously there's all this talk about people from NXT coming up all the time, like, Gargano might come up or Cole might
but they don't focus on 205. And they could have promoted that show as well. They could have been like, he's had a massive run there. You should be checking it out. 205 Live's been really good. Mansoor's. You could have promoted both Mansoor and 205 Live, and they've kind of missed the chance.
Yeah, I just and a bit as well because he he got married as well recently. Like, and he had that good kind of story that they like. They like that kind of stuff, and it would have been very easy for them just to promote it. And obviously, during Ramadan as well, they got married. Like, there was so much going, around this that they could have used, and it wouldn't. Fair enough that some of it would have felt for production wise, but if they just literally make an example of this guy got married, that's just what happened, and then people are going to go, oh, that's sweet. That reminds me of when we got married. And there is a whole Muslim fan base. I mean, I think it's going to be a small religion or a small part of the world. It's a part of Islam. But I think they might care about it a little bit. And again, if they want to go back to Saudi, it's one of those where it's like, oh, okay, it's a sweet little moment. And because, like I said, that's more of the organicness for me. Where it's like everyone else is like, if Gargano debuted on Raw, people would be expecting him to be WWE champion. Let's be real, because that's just how that fan base would think. They think there's always fantasy booking that exists, for a lot of these people. But Mansoor would have had none of that because it's like, well, to most of the fan base, he was unknown because he's wrestling on 205 Live, which sadly just isn't a brand which gets kind of any attention at all. And to the rest of the fan base, it's just like, oh, like, we want to just see who we're interested in. We want to see what he can do on a bigger stage. So it's like you rarely get that with a performer, and not just him either. You could argue that for some of the other 205 Live people, to be fair. But I think with Mansoor, it's just the fact that everything at that time, tied in. How can you not be sympathetic towards someone who just got married, and has that amazing story from being this first Saudi signed wrestler? It's just.
Has he been used since then?
No.
So they literally brought him up for one show to make him lose, and
yeah, pretty much. I mean, even like you look back at that like Battle Royal. I mean, it wasn't as if it was like stacked with like main event talent either. I mean, probably the biggest like main event talents in it, you'd say, would be Jinder Mahal as the former WWE champion, the Usos, who were also in the first match of the night, Matt Hardy, Nakamura, Rusev, Bobby Roode, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Ali, Ricochet, and Cesaro. You know, so there's still a few big names in there. Ironically as well, he was in a 51-man battle royal that lasted 17 minutes. The only match that went longer, Triple H's, obviously.
Is that the one with the awful tag match?
No, Triple H and Randy Orton went 25 minutes, and then that's the one where Undertaker nearly died at the hands of Goldberg with a.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that literally followed that match. That followed, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was in between, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm the show now. Bloody hell.
Like, yeah, they could have literally just had that in the night and have Mansoor as the closing shot. But there, yeah, I mean, as I say, it's strange what they're actually doing with him. But I do think they could have done something with him. I mean, even if they wanted to get him over, I mean, they had obviously Murphy win the Cruiserweight title at Super Showdown when that was in Australia. Why not just, even that, just stick the Cruiserweight title on him at Super Showdown or something, you know? Yeah, just say, the Cruiserweight champion's just coming out for an exhibition match or something. Oh, he's going to challenge anyone. Mansoor comes out, he gets the hometown pop, and then wins the title. Even if you kind of have him win the title and then lose it on 205 Live, or, you know, it's just that good feel good moment for him to actually.
Yeah, do you remember when Bulldog won the hardcore title at like Insurrection?
And didn't he like give it up or something the next night? He's like, I don't want it.
Yeah, something weird like that. Yeah, I think that was Bulldog's jeans phase. I'm not sure if it was, but
yeah, 1998, I think. 99. Yeah, look, I just think it's one of those where they just didn't capitalize on something, which obviously happens all the time with them, doesn't it? Now they have their complete own agenda, and it is just that disconnect really between just the writers not understanding what wrestling is. You know, which sounds like it should be something that's important for a wrestling program to have people actually understand what wrestling is. But
I don't think there's any other industry where there's that much of a mess and disconnects in so many kind of areas, like people working in it that don't know much about it, and you know,
the thing is though,
and talent not being used and you know, being wasted and whatever else. I'm sure there are other industries, but it just feels huge in the wrestling industry.
It seems though WWE is a writing team of one. That's it at the moment. Unfortunately, like, to be fair, we don't know what is on those scripts that get ripped up like hours before the show. Like, there could be, you know, for all we know, some of these people could be like kind of down to have like some decent like matches and decent time and that. And then Vince could come in and be like, you know what, I'm just not feeling that this week. Bang, 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 rip that up. There we go. This is what's happening. Have like Randy Orton, Triple H for like the 20 millionth time on TV.
Might not be Vince though. It could be someone else.
No, it's him all the time. That's what they say.
Buck stops at Vince. The buck stops. Yeah. I think any of this like
but at the same time, I mean, look, I agree. I know what the rumors are and stuff, but it's what, you know, like
they say they go into creative meetings.
I'm sure he stopped a lot of crap as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he stopped a lot of crap, and he's made a lot of good stuff as well. So it's hard to just bat off as crazy Vince every week. I just think that's a bit.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's the disconnect. That's the thing, and there's problems both sides. Because when wrestling's worked best is when the writing team have liaised very much so with the producing team. You know, who usually are wrestlers. Do you know what I mean? Like the producing team are always wrestlers, and they've got a lot of good, you know, producers working for them. But I think, there's that disconnect and that loss between creative Vince and the production and the wrestlers.
Yeah,
and the fact
it's hard to think as well that Raw and SmackDown are written by the same people. Like, because how good SmackDown is and how bad Raw is. I mean,
are they though?
It's like what we're saying though, because ultimately Vince would sign off on Raw and SmackDown. It's like, but you're going to sign off on a show that's fantastic pretty much 9 times out of 10, and then you're going to sign off on a god awful show 9 times out of 10.
I think the 3 hour thing doesn't help Raw though.
Yeah.
Well, Like,
and to be fair, they tried to get round that with the Raw Underground thing. So they tried to do like a 2 hours and then do a Raw Underground. So,
well, that's what I was going to say earlier. Actually, is that it's been, I think, about 10 years since Raw went 3 hours, which is crazy. Like,
yeah, didn't they say it's like the 500th episode or something like that? That's coming
and
up.
They've all been crap. They've all
all
no, but none of them needed to be 3 hours. You've had good Raws in the last 10 years, don't get me wrong, but none of them. Even though you could take the best Raw from the last 10 years and go to the trim now, I guarantee you, it's probably, the 3 hour thing's never worked. It has never worked. It's been terrible. It's all for advertising. I understand why they do it, but like, I honestly thought after a year they might cut out. You know, hey, yeah, but I honestly thought after a year that they might just give up on it, but they didn't. And yeah, it's really weird. No, obviously after 10, it doesn't seem to be happening, does it?
No, I mean, and to be fair, like we've sat through some of these 3 hour Raws as well, and sometimes they can really drag. I mean, especially when you're actually sitting there watching a Raw live, and you know, at least if you're watching it on the TV, you can kind of cut through some of the adverts and stuff, like fast forward for ad breaks. But then when you're sitting there, you're watching a 3 hour show live, and then you've got to literally sit there and watch someone just sitting in a ring waiting for, you know, that like there are going to be adverts on TV at that moment. And it's like, they're just stopping what they're doing and that. And it's just like, just come on. Like this could literally, I think everything that they've done so far on Raw in the 3 hour thing, everything could have been done in 2 hours. It would have made for a far, far better show. Like, but it's, as we've said before, is it WWE? Is it USA? You know, whose decision is it?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, why is SmackDown? We've got.
This is Lewis Barrett. Not
Hello.
Wade Barrett.
Not Wade Barrett, as you claimed earlier. You were definitely trying to claim you were Wade Barrett. But yeah, I mean, what's to stop SmackDown going to 3 hours? You know, what's to stop that happening as well? And that's a worry. Well, now that we've got Lewis Barrett, why don't you give us some predictions?
I didn't even have a card. I've got the list in front of me. So, what do you want to start with?
What do you want to start with, mate? What are you most excited about? Let's start with that.
Main for me, Drew, Lashley, and Braun. Mainly because it's the most invested storyline that I'm into anyway. But I'm going with Lashley. I suppose everyone else has.
I went for Drew. I went
done said so far.
Well, I went for Drew just because I felt like they're bound to give it back to him, basically. But then the other guys kind of talked me around to it. But I'm kind of locked in now. I can't really change my mind. But yeah,
I just feel like Lashley's the stew like a really lengthy reign. And I believe they've made it triple threat to save someone getting pinned as well. Not generally the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
probably Braun taking the pin, I think, in that one.
I think that's what we've all assumed, didn't it? But imagine, the shock if Braun and Cesaro win. Imagine that.
Be good.
Yeah, I actually feel like Cesaro is closer now to a world title than ever.
Yeah.
Particularly off of WrestleMania, but I don't think this is his time just yet. I think this is. I think the Usos have got a big factor with him dropping it, but I think that's later down the line.
Yeah, I think they've got to play that storyline. That storyline, as far as Usos, hasn't come to fruition yet, has it? So, like, for me, Reigns can't lose his title until that happens.
Yeah,
or at least until they both align with him. You know, like something lingering. So I don't think now's time. I don't know, but then you could say that that's why he loses it. This could be the moment where Jay turns back, helps Jimmy, and they screw Roman. You know?
Yeah.
Just quickly throw over to the comments as well. We've got a South London power couple, Barrett and Lucas. And Hobbit, wait.
Bro breaking complete DKW kayfabe at the moment.
Oh, you do. Oh, mate. Oh,
but
live in it.
I am.
This is where you have to get back in a black cab. For those of our overseas viewers, First Dates is a show over here where people meet each other on first dates, and they have a scene that looks just like these two, where they sit and they have to awkwardly say, "Do you want to do it again?" And one says yes. Sometimes the other one says no. So yeah. Oh,
do you want to be the French guy, or do you want me to?
Oh, Matt is on fire tonight. Started with the Rock comment, which was very funny, you know. Mate. Oh, doing good. Right. Yeah. Okay. Have we got more predictions from you, Barrett?
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna the Dirty Dogs and the Mysterios. I can see the Mysterios winning this. I think this is the big payoff for Dominic tonight, I'd say.
That's what I was feeling as well.
Yeah, I feel like he's come such a long way since SummerSlam. I think this is his kind of reward. I think they're going to do the whole father-son. Yeah. But then looking at this sheet here, a couple of people have said Dolph and Rude, but yeah, they've barely had defense. I can kind of see why people would want have them over, but I think they're not. I think you'll go Mysterios for the sake of doing something different.
Yeah, Lucas said Dirty Dogs on that one.
Yeah.
Which is where this comment comes in.
Yeah.
What that one? What did you say?
What did you say?
I predict Lucas says no.
Which you did do in the main predictions, Joe.
So.
Bianca and Bayley, well, I think that's just a bank of that. It's going to be Bianca with that one because it's her first defense. Pretty home bank of that one. The women's triple threat. Ooh. Again, I think that's Ripley's first defense. I can't see her losing. Again, triple threats just to save someone from taking the fall on that one.
Yeah.
But I can see that being Asuka taking the fall on that.
Yeah, it's harsh to think though, as the former women's champion, you think it's just in there to take the pinfall.
When Carmella was the champion and they let her have two defenses against Carmella let her have two successful defenses against her back in the day. And that was unheard of.
Yeah, the problem you got with Asuka is that the minute she loses a match, people think she's buried. And you know, if she is the fall guy in this one, people think I don't think the same. But I don't know. I think we've gone past that now. Like surely she's established somewhat.
Yeah. But they build up so much so that it does just come across like she's now just a loser, but it's not the case. I think the spot's changed now where she's like losing doesn't really hurt her now.
No, I don't think so. Basically, she had the belt for like a year, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Becky gave it to her, basically. Yeah. Becky couldn't be bothered.
Got another comment. Love how Barrett has a clipboard.
Who has made the list of Barrett?
He's got some bad news as well, probably.
Remember years ago, I pictured you doing a good news thing.
Yeah, he did.
Being a face, I wanted to do a good news thing where I go out and gave faces good news and the heels good news that they're going to get their asses kicked.
That was it, yeah. Well, they are a few years back now, isn't it?
Yeah, but
we also at one point had another Lewis Barrett.
Yes, we did.
We had DW.
That's gimmick infringement. Come on, you should have done something about that.
We had 3 Lewises and 2 with the same surname as well.
Yeah. And but remember his gimmick was, well, he felt it was a gimmick, but his gimmick, he would just do whatever Bray Wyatt promo did on Raw. He would come on Sunday. I shit you not. And like word for word, he'd perform the promo and just act like he'd never known who Bray Wyatt was or whatever. I mean, like you can't just copy.
Yeah, you can't protect. Yeah. At least acknowledge what you're doing.
Back when the Bray was in like the Fireflies and
Yeah.
The whole world in his hand kind of stuff, and we're just like, you can't just literally copy Monday Night Raw. And
so when me and Dan did training when we were younger, there was about 50 Jeff Hardys.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are certain wrestlers who
we're now
just
in the
attract them.
Ricochets now.
Oh, okay. Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
I was going to ask who's the guy. Who's the guy at the moment?
The guy now is
to be.
Ospreay, Ricochet, Omega.
What about promo-wise, character-wise? Who do people try and pretend to be character-wise?
No one.
They're more. At least they're interested in the in-ring stuff, you know.
Yeah. No. I think the focus because the focus for age was the look, wasn't it? And it was a whole like you're not going to get anywhere like if you're not like 6'5" and jacked.
Yeah.
Then obviously, like we said, but one of the points Matt actually made earlier was that WWE have shifted away from the indie guys, haven't they?
Yeah.
Back to big guys again. And this card proves it really because the three guys in the WWE title match are big guys. And even even in Roman Cesaro.
Cesaro's an indie guy. Well, come on.
The thing that struck out of me was the Royal Rumble this year. How many 40-plus-year-olds were in it?
We talked about that as well, actually.
Oh, yeah, we said the Elimination Chamber that Drew was the only one under 40.
That's what I'd say. So.
Yeah.
But Lucas, can you next time that you do your training session, we need you need to show your students how to fly like Ricochet. So you need to actually demonstrate everything. So
if I got to the top rope, then the ring would just implode. Like everything would just. Well, our ring's bad enough as it is to be fair.
I want to see this.
You want
to? Let's make it happen.
Like shooting star press or something.
All right. If your cycling reaches £1,000, you have to do it.
I'd pay money for that.
I don't think I can get up the top rope anymore.
I'd
like to adapt my game, and who's going to teach me this?
you can learn that off. I don't know how the young bucks learn these things. They do it at the house, and they usually these new people get a ring in your back garden.
Skate parks.
Talking.
That's
to
the
yourself.
thing.
You can be a Hardy Boy. Be a Hardy Barrett. Oh god! Has there been anything announced for the pre-show yet?
No. I've just put it on to try and see what's going on, and they're going with Sasha and Bianca promo video about Bianca winning the title. So, I can't see any match. I mean, we're 15 minutes into it. I don't think I don't think a match will be over yet.
Sheamus's US title match is going on the pre-show.
Oh, okay.
So he's got a US title match.
It's against a opponent to be announced, so it's actually going to be an open challenge.
John Cena's coming back on a pre-show.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't it that? There was a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. Don't ever do that again, please. That was awful. But when the WWE title match went on first, wasn't it? Because they were competing with
an NFL game.
Yeah, something like that. They competed with, I think, either the NFL or the NASCAR or some American.
Might be the NBA as well.
Some American rubbish. And second, the WWE title match went on first. Sorry, American people that are watching, but to us it means nothing. Like I really hope someone producers WWE watch this, because you know when they go on about like NASCAR, like NBA players in the crowd, like we're sat there in the UK, like who are these people?
What are you talking about?
Who are any of these people? Why does it matter?
I would say that like any typical Premier League footballer is bigger than like Tom Brady.
To us over here,
us over here anyway.
Yeah, maybe. And I mean, definitely. Yeah, we're going to get to another. This is probably a conversation for one of our other channels. Yeah. But I mean,
big football fan,
like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are bigger than Tom Brady, and this is coming from a Patriots fan.
That the megastars of the Premier League are more known worldwide anyway, compared to any top NFL player.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
So to us, it's like when they put like the Washington Redskins team in the front row, it's like
okay, you are.
That's how out of the loop you are. They're not called that anymore, but I get what you're saying. We're going to get to a comment here. A few of Matt Jones once they won't see again talk about the Dropkicks Academy, and then we've got if Alistair is actually going to Raw, then maybe it's Black versus Sheamus. That'd be a really weird way to bring him back, though, wouldn't it? After all these promos and and I guess he would be a heel.
But apparently, he's moving over to Raw as part of the Vince Shaken Up or something tomorrow.
Right,
that's one of the rumors that have come out.
I mean, aren't these promos airing on Raw? Dan, you should.
No, they were airing on SmackDown.
No, they've been airing on SmackDown, so he's had 3 so far, but that's what they're actually.
Oh, sure, surely it will show up on SmackDown then.
But was there one on SmackDown this week then?
Yeah, there was one this week on there. Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to call.
It's weird when someone comes back with his.
Got the call that on the day, wasn't it? It was on the day he got told he'd be debuting on Raw. So
yeah. And we've learned that a lot of these things don't mean anything. It does just happen the way they want it. They decide last minute or whatever. But yeah, I find it really weird that these promos kind of make you think he's coming in as main eventer. Usually when you get these kind of things, it's hard. It's always hard to tell basically on these kind of little vignettes. You know, like what does this mean? Like it means something, but where are you coming in? You know, where are you going to slot into the kind of storylines again? Because I definitely feel like he's being wasted on the main roster at least. You know, so
I just think like he's one of those where fans want him to be something, but I think the company and a lot of people don't really see it. And I think there is always that language barrier too, where I think Vince has that thing where, back to Cesaro basically, where he's just not really going to push someone whose English just isn't like 100%. He wants people that speak like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Stone Cold.
Well, but Cesaro's English is amazing though.
He
can speak he speak 5 languages or something like that. Wasn't his gimmick for a bit, So, but I mean, he's got an accent. Maybe that's what.
The accent, I think it is.
But then again, technically,
Nikki Cross says she she changes her talking.
Yeah, well, even Drew. I saw an interview with Drew recently saying he kind of like mellows his. I think even we do when we're in our. We try and not sound like chimney sweeps. I think even we dull it down a bit. But
just pimping out your video with Kaylee Ray. I thought she came across as really Scottish when you spoke to her.
Yeah.
Like she was like proper like full on another language kind of thing.
There it is.
Which but I think that shows difference, I guess, with being NXT UK. It'd be interesting, obviously, if she did get promoted, did get called up or whatever to the main roster. Yeah. Like if that would change. But Drew's thing, it's worked to Drew's advantage though. He's got away with some stuff, hasn't he? Because when he he said a few swear words, didn't he? Like kind of went under the radar. Last year, and I think it was a feud against Seth, wasn't it? When he said shite, didn't he? it didn't get picked up at all.
Sheamus is the same as well. Sheamus gets a few things like that in there as well, doesn't he? We got another comment. Aleister Black and Cesaro are both fluent in English, so that I'd love an Aleister push. I think it would be really good to see Aleister get pushed. Follow up here as well. Kelly Ray is probably my favorite women's wrestler right now. The Forever Champion gimmick, I think it's doing really well. Obviously touched on that in the interview, so please check that out. I think there's big things coming for her. I think obviously the pandemic is gonna, like the water rain as well. It's kind of added to it, but I think there's a reason they kept it on there for so long. I think they definitely see high things for it. That doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess with the pandemic reigns, though, it's just a case of that's just how it is, though, isn't it? I mean, but she had it for a long time before the pandemic, anyway, didn't she? As water.
I think she won it in late 20. Well, maybe October 2019 or something like that. So
no, she came from doing WRS as well, didn't she? Where she was, because she was champion for them as well, wasn't she?
She was,
I think she still is, even though it's not.
I think there's a lot of people still champion for them, which is a shame. I really wish that worked out a bit better, but maybe they'll bring it back. Who knows?
So, just quickly, who do we think is going to answer the open challenge?
That's quick.
So there's no prediction points here because Rob's not here anyway, right? So this is just a.
And we can't predict it if we don't know what the actual match is either.
Yeah, but I mean, you can predict who the person's going to be and get a point for that. Technically, I think if this was announced ahead of time, we could have done that. But...
Yeah.
Well, have they done that match, or is he injured? Is he injured? We really bad injured, didn't they? Can't be.
Who, Umberto?
Yeah.
No, they said he's absolutely fine from it.
Wow.
Oh.
It'd be a bit weird for him to come out and just be the surprise one after just having a match with him, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so
something different, yeah.
Initially they did think that the injury was quite serious, but then the news that came out the next day was like, oh, well, if they needed him to wrestle on Wednesday, he's fine.
Wednesday,
like the day after Raw Smackdown.
Yeah. So. Well, I feel like it's gonna be someone who's sitting in catering, as we kind of touched on earlier. I think it's going to be someone like it's going to be someone like that. It's not going to be a return. They're not going to have a return for
Tony Nese,
unless there's a return of like a regular
catering in the case.
But mind you, they had Edge come out on a pre-show and spear Elias.
Yeah, I think it could be a return for
He's
someone
hometown,
currently
though.
on the roster in like in a lower kind of mid card
Elias?
below. Like,
No, that's his face.
Tucker.
He's released.
yeah. Samoa Joe.
It could be Riddick Moss. You mentioned him earlier, Dan. It could be Riddick Moss.
Maybe. We've got another comment in here about thinking about champions outside of WWE. Find it crazy. Noam Dar is limited to a segment host on NXT UK, but has been ICW champion for a while simultaneously. Scott, I'll let you take that one.
We interviewed Noam Dar. It's coming up on the channel. What a way to break the news. It's coming up on the channel soon. So again, please subscribe. He really liked my Fred Perry shirt. That's nice, isn't it? 2 wrestlers I've interviewed have said to be nice Fred Perry. Neville and Noam Dar. There you go. So just putting it out there, telling you I've got good fashion and wrestlers think it. But yeah, Noam Dar, I think, what did you describe it as? Did you say relegated to or whatever? I think the Supernova Sessions is a great thing for him. Gives him a chance to express himself and, in this pandemic era. Limited to, but I think he's been doing well with it, and I think he's got a unique opportunity. Anyone that gets one of those shows like the Miz TV, what is it, the Cutting Edge, all those kind of things. I think there's a reason they get those shows, and I think Noam Dar is the only one in NXT UK that's got one. So I think that's actually a positive. But I get what you're saying as far as he's a champion elsewhere. I don't think it means he should be NXT UK champion at the moment. But I think something like the Supernova Sessions is something to help him get to that point. So
it's only a 1 hour show as well. There isn't NXT UK, so you can't.
Yeah,
this is the problem they have in NXT.
Unlike Raw.
Take that out from Raw. Give it to them.
Yeah, but he does talk about it on the interview coming up, by the way. So we'll get to that.
No, that's good. But it's like with NXT, it's like not everyone can be a main event wrestler, can they? Like everyone can have that spot. If you're on a 1 hour show, like what can you really expect? And again, it gets you in front of the audience each week, because that's something I think it was Montez Ford said it. There might have been Andrew Dawkins, but when the Street Profits and Viking Raid were doing their cinematic feud, at the start of the pandemic, to be fair.
Why you got to bring that up, Lucas?
I know how much you hate it, but I mean, something they said was like, they said, while yes, they would obviously prefer to be wrestling, obviously every week. It's a case of that still got them on television, and it got the social media interaction that they wanted, So it's a case of like. Yeah, like it wasn't made what they wanted, but it's like if your choices are basically do basketball against the Viking Raiders or being catering, like I think they chose obviously do basketball.
That's
and being television. Do you know what I mean? Like as much as it's not wrestling, it's like you're still on television. And I think that's the goal with WWE. It's just try your best to just always be on television, because once you've got something over on television, like it can work, And even with lower card workers, like sadly, Noam Dar, like he is a lower, in terms of this kind of thing, he is more of a mid card, lower card worker. Like he's on television regularly, so I think that's the kind of trade off here. Because it's weird because how long has he been signed?
It's been some time now.
It's been ages now, hasn't it? Because he was obviously on 205 Live when it first started, wasn't he? Doing the whole.
Yeah. Well, when the cruiserweights were actually a Raw thing, those years ago.
Yeah, it was on Raw for a bit as well. Yeah,
2016.
Yeah.
So 5 years now.
Yeah.
It was on 5 years. So I mean, they obviously, sadly, don't really want to pull anything major with him. Because they would have done it surely. Because they.
I feel like they get. I feel like this is an opportunity. I don't know if they see it, but I think they've given it to him for a reason. They've got to give. But again, JVDB clarifying on his comment. I also like the segment, but I feel we should have had a bigger role in the ring. So yeah, I get what you're saying. And a US title open challenge accepted by Bo Dallas. Yes,
so
got to be.
I would, but he's actually he got released as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
but,
or his tag partner Matt Riddle in the team of Bro Dallas.
Would be a great shout. Would be Heath. I think he's already done with Impact, isn't he?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Canal was saying hello. Just quickly, we'll say that because he always popping in. Thank you for joining us again, and everybody else that has
every month.
Oh.
It's going to be, so the answer to the Open Challenge is going to be Charlotte Flair, just because that's what was happening with the Io Shirai and thingy.
Yeah.
She's probably saying she's not winning later on. And she's like,
nah.
Should we? Yeah, all right. Let's do what? Yeah, Dan, because you did say do predictive, and none of us did we? So let's do it. Let's do it before we get out of it. Who wants to go first and actually predict it?
What would you think who's going to be the Open Challenger?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably coming up in about a minute, so let's get going.
Oh, I think Mansoor.
Ricochet.
Dan?
R-Truth.
I think I was leaning towards Ricochet as well, so we'll see.
Yeah. Champion versus champion, isn't it? R-Truth and Sheamus.
Yeah,
title for title.
Maybe. Maybe.
Is it just scary though that R-Truth's pushing 50?
What, title reigns?
Yeah. Well, no,
age.
You know what? The other day, I was listening to Get Rowdy by K Quick.
Oh, yeah, K Quick days.
Bloody hell.
And I was thinking, mate.
He was part of the action as well, wasn't he, R-Truth?
Yeah.
K-Quick.
Yeah. You know. Him and Road Dogg.
Over 20 years ago.
He was fantastic in TNA, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But he was a real star there, wasn't
he? Yeah. The good old days of TNA.
Was indeed.
The NWA world title days.
Even that's going back almost 20 years though now.
Yeah.
Like, we're all getting too old. all these youngsters commenting about people like Alistair Black and blah blah.
We're like, can we talk about Dusty Rhodes, please?
Bring back the Fat Man. Sapphire.
Harley Race.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it. We've come to a nice conclusion, I guess. The show's about to start in half an hour. I've got to get my my pre-show meal ready, which is now going to go into the opener meal, obviously. Is there anyone else got any points they want to say before we get out of here?
No,
enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. All right. Well, yeah. Lewis, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, guys. Pleasure was all
right. That was impromptu, but we enjoyed it. And everybody, like I said, we've got a lot of good content coming up on the channel, if we do say so ourselves. Here's, like I said, the Katie Ray and Rampage Brown interviews coming up. We will be back tomorrow for a review of WrestleMania Backlash as well. So if you want to see what we think of what's actually going to happen, then subscribe and tune in. That'll be at 5 p.m. tomorrow, British Standard Time. So figure that out. Google's your friend. Put that into your Google machine and it'll tell you where it is, where you are locally. But we will be here live on this very channel, so please subscribe. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for all the comments. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone. See you later. Enjoy WrestleMania.
Take care, spiky hair. Woo, woo, woo.
You know it. Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
Yeah, I didn't know what time he was coming, so I thought I mean